This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox Newscast. Welcome, everybody, to the X&C Podcast. Meg and I are talking literally while the countdown is going. We're having a gay old time just talking together and forgetting we have to do a show. A great and gay old time.
Oh, okay. All right. I wasn't sure if it was a Flintstones reference or another one.
As the Rebels would say, we're having a gay old time. Wilma!
Hey, Fred. Yeah. Hey, Fred. I mean, I'm shorter than you, so I could be Barney, right? Plus, I mean, you know,
we're the same height, aren't we? Are we both 5'9"?
I mean,
in heels?
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah. You're in heels. Yeah, you're probably about a half an inch taller than me.
Oh, okay.
But that's where the half inch stops, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome everybody to the show. Thanks for being around when we weren't here, and thanks for supporting Mag. I spent the week in California with my family, so it was nice to kind of disconnect from everything, I suppose. But I won't give you a travelogue, but I figured you and I could at least talk about something semi-gaming related when it comes to Disneyland, because my experience in Galaxy's Edge and the Star Wars location made me think, man, the Star Wars games are so great. Some of them people don't really realize, but I was texting you and you were telling me to go try the blue milk.
That's right.
So I did, and it was
Did you
great.
have it?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
$8 for a cup this big.
That's true. Yeah. Now, was it? Did you get the alcoholic version or the non-alcoholic?
version? Well, I mean, it's me. I got the non-alcoholic version. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was drinking alcohol at 7 a.m. because apparently, it was so busy when I went to the Disney World. Though I was in World in Florida, so a little different. But they have slot times that you can actually book, even before the bloody park opens. And they're like, oh yeah, if you want to get on, let's say the Resistance ride, you know, that whatever it is, the Fight of the Resistance or First Order Resistance ride. It's like you can go at 7 a.m., 3 hours before the park opens. Anyways, I was there in Star Wars Land at 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning in the cantina, and I'm drinking, and I'm like, is this a good idea? Because by 9 o'clock, I'm stumbling out like Greedo. I don't even know who shot first. I was just like, hola, mina, solo. Just after 3 blue milks and a Lando Calrissian drink there, the bubbly one. Oh man, it was awesome. Anyways, carry on.
The bubbly one, the one with the foam pouring over it.
No, it was like a carbonite drink. It was called I don't know, Lando's Carbonite or something like that. And you get it, and it's it looks like a Harry Potter brew. It's psh.
Oh, okay.
All this foam is steam is coming out and stuff, and I'm sure it's not good to imbibe, but I did so anyway.
Oh, I mean, I was actually willing to try anything after being on my feet for, standing in line for 6 hours out of a 12-hour day, just standing in place. I was like, is there anything can I take a lightsaber and just chop my feet off or something? But being in that location,
at least it'd be cauterized immediately.
I mean, that's what it does, right?
Yeah. I mean, you'd be fine.
When you're walking in there, it's not like you're in a movie set. It's like they kind of shove a bunch of people in the actual location, where Mando goes and meets, Apollo Creed. I forgot his name in the Mandalorian show, Carl Weathers. And they've got the ambient music going, and it made me think about all the great Star Wars games lately, like Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order and Star Wars Battlefront 2, and even
Outlaws.
Dare I say, Star Wars Outlaws.
What do you dare you say? It's a fantastic game. The problem is the people who played at launch, I really feel bad for them because they were basically the beta testers.
Yeah.
But if you played it a year later, the game is polished and fantastic and super cheap. So, you know what I mean? Mag Windu. Apparently, I'm Mace Windu. He is the traitor. Ah!
I mean, what's our next Star Wars game that we can look forward to? Is there anything in the pipeline?
Yes.
Star Wars related?
Isn't there Knights of the Old Republic remake that got canned and then uncanned?
Yeah. Yeah.
for PlayStation, I think. Is it a PlayStation exclusive? I can't even remember.
I think
it was.
I think it'll be a launch exclusive. So if you're on Xbox,
whatever.
I don't know if that would be like a PC thing, but that may be held from most people if it's an exclusive. But is that it? Is that it, audience? Is that all we get for Star Wars is a Knights of the Republic, which is I've never played it.
I think so because I haven't heard of any other. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Thank you, Infinity Nerd. Yes, Jedi Survivor 3 is actually in active development by my boy there, Vince Zampella, the king of video games.
Are they going to have
everything that guy touches? He's King Midas.
He's really good. I mean,
what is he screwed up in 20 years? Like honestly,
he revived Battlefield 6, but have you seen the reports that Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7 are still like garnering a good amount of players, but Arc Raiders is like taking all of their lunch?
Yeah, well, that's a thing. But yeah, no, Zampella, dude. In the 360 days, PS3 days, more 360 in those times, because basically COD was synonymous with Xbox in those days. That was all Zampella. Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, right? Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and then he disappeared, and then he went over to EA eventually. I can't remember all the details of his life, but then he did Titanfall for the launch of the Xbox One. Or
that's when they
within the
formed
launch
Respawn,
window.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He formed Respawn after leaving Infinity Ward.
Right, Titanfall for Xbox One, was it exclusive? If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah, Titanfall 1 was exclusive, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And that game was amazing. And then he did Titanfall 2, which was even better, but it got overshadowed by Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty. Remember, it got wedged?
Yep.
It got wedged in between the two shooters, and it got
I never liked the multiplayer
really
in Titanfall 2, but that campaign was unbelievably great.
Was so good. And then look at him now. I was about to say Arc Raiders. Apex. What's the one that
Apex
plays?
Legends. Yeah.
Apex Legends. Sorry, Gaz. Sorry, I couldn't remember his name. Gaz used to play
Most
Apex
don't.
Legends all the time. Yeah, and like that game did incredibly well. Then the guy goes into the Jedi series. Like, what are we talking about here? And then Battlefield 6. The man is King Midas. Everything he touches turns to gold.
Are they going to make Jedi 3? Are they going to bring back that Cal Worthington or whatever his name is, or Calvin Coolidge, or what's his name? The redheaded guy?
Good evening, sir. My name is Cal Worthington. And I point my saber at you, sir.
What's his name? Cal Sanat or something like that?
I don't know. Cal, whatever. The ginger guy.
Yeah.
The
Cal Kestis.
Cal Kestis. There
Thank
you
you.
go. Cal Kestis.
I
just call him the ginger guy.
My wife.
I mean, he was ferocious in the second one because he like had anger issues, right? So that was really cool. But
yeah,
yes, they are doing a third one.
You can give him a mohawk.
Yeah. He's the singer there. What the hell's his name? The redheaded singer, ginger guy.
Ed Sheeran.
It's Ed Sheeran. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you didn't know, Ed Sheeran escaped Order 66. He became a musician, a big star, and also secretly a Jedi. So there you go. There's the whole story. So we got Knights of the Old Republic launch exclusive, I would imagine, for PlayStation, and then Jedi, whatever it's going to be for all systems. So, I mean, that's still good. I mean, that's still got something going on.
I was looking at
the games have been better than the movies.
Yeah, when I got home, I was in the Star Wars mood, so I went on Steam and Xbox and started looking to see what Star Wars games I might not have played in a while or don't own. And there's the really old ones, which are really hard to play, but there was Rogue Squadron, a game that I gave up on after like 5 or 6 hours because my ship kept getting blown apart and I wasn't passing like the early missions. I don't know. I just wasn't into it, but people say it was great. Weren't you one of those that said that Rogue Squadron was really good?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It
might have been
confusing me with some other very mediocre bald guy. No, I did
mediocre gamer guy.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, I wish I had I literally reached for my soundboard, but it's not connected to this. And so I was about to press a button for something unholy that I have programmed on my soundboard just for this scumbag who's finally back. Risk it for the biscuit has finally returned to the fold. Yeah. Where has he been? Like punching Ruse out in the outback, or what the hell is he up to?
He took punching Ruse. He took a break from his podcast for a bit and kind of recalibrated and came back. And I watched their last couple shows, but That doesn't excuse him for not hanging out with us here in the chat. But
Yeah,
he's
I know,
like,
what the
why
hell?
is Mag still here?
Like, what? Your ears broken too? Like, what's the problem? Sit down and listen to the show, man.
No. Rogue
It's a hard
Squadron.
time of year.
Rogue Squadron was not on the N64. It was a 2020 release. I think it
did
released
play
at the very end of the Xbox One X, PS5, PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
It was like kind of it bridged between the new consoles.
Didn't
And
they give it away for free? Like at one point, like it was like a game of the month or something, or there was a promotion because it didn't like do incredibly well, or was it on Game Pass? Like it might have been on Game Pass actually.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know
because I remember playing it for free, dude. Like I did not
Somebody
buy
sent
it,
me
but
the
I remember
code.
accessing it.
This is going to sound weird, but Aaron Greenberg sent me the code for Rogue Squadron. He's just like, hey, it's just DM me. He's like, hey, do you want this game? And I was like out of the blue, I was like, yeah, sure. And then I think it came to Game Pass and stuff. But did you guys like it?
There it is. Infernal Earth confirmed it. It was on Game Pass. That's why I played it for, well, free, but you know what I mean.
How much of it did you play?
Enough that like it didn't really grab me. Like maybe a couple hours, and then I was just like, this is not like, you know, if a game doesn't grab me in 2 hours or so, then like maybe even 3 hours, I'll give it 3.
Sure.
Sometimes more if it's like an RPG, I'll give it 5 hours, and I'm like, all right, this is just not, you know what I mean? It's just not clicking with me. Eddie Garcia, knock it off. And so you know what I mean? So like it didn't really connect with me. But I mean, obviously it didn't connect with a lot of people. So you know, I mean, they put it out for sale or whatever. It did its thing. It didn't do well, and then they threw it over to Game Pass on the EA, whatever the hell it was, to try and get like drum up some more engagement on the game, and it just didn't take off.
Yeah, I just remember I just kept dying or blowing up trying to do simple early on missions like a few hours in. I'm like, I'm just not having fun with this. And there were so many games that were coming out in that bridge next gen. Shout out to Dirt Griggity who's in chat. I don't often see Dirt Griggity around, but great guy in the community, good podcaster, good content creator.
He's out there?
Hilarious guy. Yeah, he said Colt.
I didn't see his name.
He didn't say anything to Mag, but he said hi to me.
Yeah, like him and I have like a beef. Like we're doing a rap battle actually in an underground Detroit club this coming weekend.
Speaking of rap battles, I'm going to bring up a couple of crazy rumors that have been swirling. We're kind of in a slower pocket of the gaming news, and Mag and I were texting back and forth this morning about what we were going to talk about on the show. There's some interesting stuff we're going to bring up that will kind of work out as far as how plausible they could be. But today we're going to talk about there's a lot of stuff that's been going on. One of the major news items is Jeff Keighley posted a picture of this carved stone statue that has set the internet ablaze and even given me a 6,000 likes tweet, which has a bunch of engagement, only to be turned around and proven wrong. We're going to talk about that as well. But before we do that, I thought I would say, hey, Xbox is selling Crocs. As of like 5 or 6 days ago, Xbox is like, hey, we've got our own Crocs. We don't have any games out right now. We blew the whole lineup of games already in 2025, but we've, run into Christmas. We got Xbox Crocs for you, but they're also on the 20th anniversary of the Xbox 360. So I thought I'd just ask you cold, Mag, do you have a standout story? The first thing that comes to mind when it comes to the great, magnificent Xbox 360.
The Xbox 360. I put up a tweet about it as well, actually, and it got some major attention too because I said the same thing. And I'm like, of all the years I've been gaming since 1979, as ridiculous as that is, and that's what, almost 46 years. And I gotta say, through all the consoles I've ever owned and all the experiences I've had in this 40-something years of gaming I've had, there's only 2 consoles out there that really, really changed my trajectory. And I think that the one that changed my trajectory the most was the Xbox 360. And the reason why is because it turned me from a gamer. Yeah, I gamed a lot in the 80s, the 90s, late 70s, 80s and 90s mostly in the arcade. And then the PlayStation 1 came out. That changed everything for me for home consoles. So what ended up happening is I used to, fiddle at home with the consoles, whatever, but we'd always ride our bikes and go to the arcades, spend probably a mortgage worth on like Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat and, getting into fist fights because someone was throwing too much instead, whatever, right? And so we always had those things. We always in the arcades. But PlayStation 1 changed me where I was like, I don't need to go to the arcade anymore. The arcade is here. Because remember, it launched with Mortal Kombat 3, and it was the exact same like code from the arcade. So there was
back
that.
in I got to interrupt. Back in the late 80s, for those of you who are not as old as Mag and I, back in like 1988, around then, the arcade games looked 3 times better than the home console counterparts, or even games that released the same time. Like if you look at an NES game versus an arcade game, like it looked like a super Nintendo game on this, 15-inch monitor in a cabinet. So so you're saying there was a split time there where like you did arcade and then you'd go home and play games and you go back to the arcade, and then all of a sudden it's like, I don't
because arcade was the better experience in those days. You're right.
Yeah.
Where you wanted the better graphics, the better whatever, the better frame rates, whatever. You go to the arcade to play those games, right? But then PS1 changed that, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I don't need to go. And so the arcade started phasing out and I think actually the PlayStation was probably one of the main reasons why.
Dang,
and then,
I never thought of that.
Well, and then people stopped going because they're like, I can get the same experience at home now. So people stopped going out to spend the money, and arcades started to phase out. Now it's that's all those, the ones where you get tickets and all that crap now. You know what I mean? Like,
rhythm games were like becoming more popular because the adventure games. I didn't really think about that.
But so that was impactful in one way, and I have great memories on my PS1. However, what changed me was the day I literally was watching football. I was watching the superior team, Crispy Bomb, Buffalo Bills, and I was watching them on TV, and there was a commercial for Dead Rising. By the way, exclusive. Don't tell me exclusives don't sell consoles. So
it was.
I'm sitting there watching Dead Rising, and I go like this. I sit up in the chair because I'm a huge zombie fan. I've always been a George A. Romero fan, and I'm looking at the screen. I'm going, yo, what is this? And I'm like, look at those graphics. What the hell is this? And it said Capcom. I'm like, I like Capcom because like Resident Evil, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm sold. What the hell are we looking at? Dead Rising. Only on Xbox. Exclusives. They do sell hardware. And so I'm like, only on Xbox? What the hell is I'm like, 360? I didn't even know a new console was coming because I kind of fell out of the whatever for about a year because I was kind of in a transitional period with my career. I was really busy. I did game. I was still gaming on a PS2 at that time. I never owned an original Xbox. I literally left in the middle of the football game. And I went to, in those games, those days it was called EB Games, not GameStop. Yeah. And I went to my local EB Games and I bought an Xbox 360 and I bought Dead Rising that very day. By dinner time, it was already connected to the TV and I was playing. And that was the day Xbox 360 turned me into a hardcore gamer. The online, the headphones, the playing with friends, all my friends started buying it. All the restaurant goons I used to work with all bought an Xbox 360. Call of Duty 4 was a midnight event.
That had to be a culture shock for you. You said you had the PS2, which was a wired, pretty simple controller. And then here you are picking up this
wireless.
As I thought of it, I used to love my iPod back then at this time. And the 360 controller was like an Apple device to me. When I picked it up, it was white, it was sleek, it was wireless, It had weight, it felt like a quality product. And I sat down with some younger kids to play on a 360 the first time I ever sat down with one. And they handed out these controllers and turned them on wireless. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is the nicest thing I've ever seen. Because I wasn't like really engaged back then in gaming. Like I was.
Well, like I said, I didn't fall off. I was still gaming, but I was gaming on a PS2, and I felt like obviously it was at the tail end of that generation. Nothing really major going on there. I was playing like God of War 3, I think, at that time, or 2. I don't remember which one was on the old system. I think it was just God of War 2. And but then I got this Xbox 360, and it looked sleek. It was amazing. You could detach the hard drive, the wireless controls. I go, holy crap, this is next generation. Like this was a leap, right? Yeah. Especially like you said, from the wired controllers of a PS2 to the Xbox 360. Dude, I was gaming 7 days a week after that. And I never looked back. I was just non-stop. I couldn't get enough. I bought so many games on the Xbox 360, had so many got to be into the hundreds of thousands of hours, if not millions of hours. Who the hell knows how long I played that thing? But, and then of course, let's not forget all the incredible games that came out on that system. It was a system that changed, like I said, and changed the trajectory of my gaming life, and then eventually brought me to YouTube, right? And then it went into the Xbox One, and then the YouTube world started to pick up, and then, of course, several years later, here I am talking about it, and hopefully make a career out of it. So, you know, that's the whole idea, and actually, I have to attune that, not only for that 46 years of gaming, the Xbox 360 completely stopped me in my tracks and went, holy crap, this is unbelievable. And
this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 30 years.
Jeez, yeah. Seriously, you could put your own music. You remember that? You could burn your own music onto the hard drive. I could listen to Motley Crue while I was racing, and the sleeves, the online, talking with my friends after work. It was amazing. And I have to attune it that overall, my favorite console of all time was the Xbox 360, very closely followed by the PS1.
I look at the
Xbox 360 was the best ever for me.
I look at a lot of the Xbox original PS2 games, which are so iconic, but since I wasn't a hardcore gamer during those two console cycles, that it's kind of a complicated thing, but basically for 10 years, I've told this story before, but for about 10 years, I wasn't really gaming outside of Roller Coaster Tycoon, Rainbow Six on PC, like the occasional game, or I play with my brother-in-law when he's much younger than me, like 10 years younger. So I wasn't really a gamer, and I wasn't in tune to everything. So it's funny that everyone's like, exclusive sell consoles, and exclusive sold you yours. The reason why I bought an Xbox 360 was because of Rock Band and because of Grand Theft Auto 4. So I remember buying that in 2008, in the spring, in April 2008, going down to Walmart and buying it because I already knew how amazing and how nice it was from seeing it at those guys' house. And then I played Grand Theft Auto 4 so much, I 100% of the game. I think it's the only game I've 100%ed. Like, you've platinumed all these games. I've only got 1,000 out of 1,000 on like 2 or 3 games in my entire life. It's not something I do. And so Grand Theft Auto was like, 4 was, this is what I do now. I am an obsessed gamer who games 2 to 3 or 4 hours every single day. And I've done that for ever since 2008. And the console's amazing. I would say it is, my favorite console. And it brought me into gaming. And, hey, it ruined my life because now I don't get anything accomplished. But it is one of the big reasons why I got into doing YouTube and wanted to have a place or a platform to talk about gaming. But the 20th anniversary thing was almost a week ago. It happened like during my right before I left on vacation and stuff. So everyone talks about Red Ring of Death. I bought mine in 2008. That model before the Elite one was kind of not prone to get Red Ring because they've been working on it. By 2008, they were 3 years into the generation and they tried to fix the heatsink issue. I've got mine sitting down here, unplugged. It's just something to look at in my cabinet. It's never red ringed. And, they had 60% success rate back then. So, it happens. But, I love to hear how people get in or get dug into the consoles. A 360 is always one of my favorites. It's got so many of our favorite games. I also want to talk about, I got to give a great shout out to my good friend Game Seeker, who sends a Canadian $25 super chat and says, "Happy holidays, fellas." And then he has Christmas tree, Santa Claus, and snowman. And snowman looks like he's scared for his life. He's gonna get run over. Let's see. I got a couple more. Hold on, they kind of got away from me here. Hold on a second. Normally I talk about what we're playing, but I've just been kind of dipping in and out of Arc Raiders. I'm 70 to 80 hours in, and this is gonna bother some people, especially some of my close friends. But I'm starting to feel like I'm good. I will play it when people want to play. Like I play with Holly and Red Wolf and Fonz and Dante. Like I'll play if they want to play, but I'm not jumping into that game solo just to play it. I'm not feeling that anymore after all the stuff I've done. I'm well over level 40. It's just such a great game, but I'm ready for the next thing. And Meg, what can you tell the audience, like, what is the next big game to look forward to? Because I feel like there's going to be a a dead spot for maybe a couple months until the next big game is in our hands.
Yeah, there is a bit of a spot, but you know what the thing is though. At the end of the day, I know a lot of gamers are spoiled, rotten as we all are. However, take this time to play all the games that are in your backlog for the next couple of months, and all the games you probably just bought for Black Friday. Play the damn games and get into them. Just sit down and be like, I'm going to play this, and then really dig your claws into that game and all of a sudden you'll be like, wow, why the heck did I wait so long to play this or whatever, right? And just get in there and play your backlog, because the next big game to come out is Resident Evil Requiem. That is going to be a juggernaut of a game. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's super excited about it. That's the third week of February. So we've got that. Now, we also don't know exact release cadences for Xbox, as they do the developer direct in the first week of January, and then they usually have they give like the dates for that year or whatever, right? They're saying, okay, coming fall of this one or coming in the spring of this one. This is going to kind of piggyback into our one of our topics tonight. Later we'll talk about Forza, and then that Resident Evil Requiem is the next big one, and like
what
now
is the release date on that? Is it
February 20 something?
Okay.
There it goes. Ion Storm just said the same thing. The next big game is Resident Evil 9.
Nothing
Resident
in January,
Evil Requiem,
guys and girls. And
it's February for
ladies.
sure. Resident Evil Requiem.
Like, there's anything coming in at the
February
end of December
27.
or January that I've been hearing people talk about.
I'm sure there is, but I don't think anything else is going to hit like at that level of, you know what I mean, of hype. I'm sure there's something coming out at that time. Kirk, there's no Forza 6 is not going to come that early. I would look at Q2, but we'll talk about that later. February 27th for Resident Evil, and then things are going to start steamrolling after that. As soon as Resident Evil drops, that's the first. That's the first basic the canon that starts the war of 2026, because it's going to be a wild year.
Yeah, we might talk about it later in the show. I think March might be another avalanche of crazy big games. Ruin V1X1, thank you so much for the Canadian $2. Says happy Monday, Pookies. Appreciate you, and I love the raccoon picture. I would love to own one. Jeffrey AGM, thank you so much for the $10 super. Says I love Bald Man Mag and the maggots and everyone in between. Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
Merry Christmas as well. Yes.
We love you too.
Yeah. Speaking of the holidays being good to us, we are getting into the Christmas time, and I don't drink eggnog during the holidays, Mag. I drink something much cooler and something with a little more kick. Mm-hmm. And I thought maybe you could tell people what's coming up.
Well, it's funny you say that, because if you actually go to the North Pole, and in order for Santa and those elves to get all of those presents ready, done, made, and sent out to all the wonderful children and adults across the world, there's only one drink that could give Santa Claus and those reindeer and those elves the power, the strength, the tenacity. It's 4xpgaming.com, ladies and gentlemen. 4xp Gaming, that is exactly right. Santa Claus, it is actually notified. It's actually in the record book. Santa Claus drinks 4xp. That's the only way he can get through the night in order to deliver all those presents and bring coal to Gaz's house every single Christmas Eve. And so he always gets it in the stocking every single year. His shabby little stocking hung on his horrible fireplace at his home. And he's like, did I get coal again? Yeah, that's it. You got coal again, Gaz. But anyways, 4xpgaming.com, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, this is the only thing that could get those. How do you think the elves make all those consoles? How do you think they make all those games? How do you think they make all those lovely knitted sweaters that you get every single Christmas? 4XP Gaming is the reason why. And Santa Claus, riding that sleigh, he's going to fall asleep by the time he goes across the Atlantic, but not with 4XP Gaming. He is wide awake, alert. He is talking to all the guard and radio towers and all the different airports. He goes, this is Santa coming over. I am just coming over Heathrow Airport. And the only reason why he is so alert is because of... Exactly. So listen, speaking of Christmas, it's holiday season. Not everybody celebrates Christmas, but you know what? If you have stockings hung up, make sure you go to 4xpgaming.com, buy some of these, and put them in someone's stocking, because it's going to make their Christmas that much more alert. 4xpgaming.com. Link is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Meg. Thank you. Appreciate it. Watermelon.
40% off.
Blue raspberry, white gummy. I'm drinking blue raspberry tonight. So We appreciate them. And we also appreciate Paris in the chat for saying, I don't know what you've been talking about, but Xbox is dead. Broke Pass sucks. And the Steam machine is the real console killer at just $7,000. I cannot wait.
$7,000.
We'll probably
is he
talk
still
about
Marcello,
that
or is he back at? He's still Marcello. Yeah,
yeah. It's YouTube being YouTube. It just
Oh,
if
don't
you
worry.
look at
I know
my name.
YouTube
It's my
being
social
YouTube.
security number. So yeah. Anyway,
I
forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I thought I would ask you real quick. There's been some
Sure,
scuffling in the community when it comes to ARC Raiders. About, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but there's been a couple people in the community fighting against each other because people are griefing or shooting each other in the back while they're extracting on the computer and stuff. And I don't know. I've had people pretend to be cool and shoot me, and I lose all my loot, but really the game just gives you all this gear more than you can handle, and you lose it. I don't even want to talk about it.
I know there's a lot of people out there who are super pissed with the game. They're just like, I can't take it anymore. Just because human beings are just such a-holes and this and that. I'm like, dude, have you stepped outside? Just go step outside. You can find them all. They're all wandering around like just useless plasma, just wandering around this earth. Trust me, they're everywhere. So I think this may be considered to be one of the most realistic games ever because it basically mirrors our society. About 3% nice people, 97% a-holes. So it actually, listen, you got to have your guard up. You got to be ready at all times. Don't take anything for granted, and certainly don't trust anybody. And that's something that absolutely should apply to your real life as well, outside of your family, and even then, sometimes family. You never know. Not mine, but sometimes. Y'all know what I'm talking about out there. Okay, listen. This game is an exact mirror of what it's like in the real world. And I'm telling you this: if you think that when an apocalypse comes, everybody's going to be nice, like, hey neighbor, I've got some extra hot dogs if you and your family want to come over and eat. I know you're starving to death. They will literally go over to your house, murder you, and cook you and eat you. So, this is not any different. So this game is exactly that. Now, it kind of sucks because you're just like, I'd like to be able to play in harmony with people because I get messages and DMs all the time where people are like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. Yep. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's cool. I said a lot of people really enjoy it or whatever, and they're doing the thing. I'm like, even there was a lot of stuff on social media about AFK. It's like you can't even go to the bathroom and just go pee for 30 seconds and come back, and then someone's already done something to you or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's part of the game. I mean, remember, dude, this happened during Sea of Thieves too. You remember all that when Sea of Thieves came out? And then when they launched it, it was on PC, and then there was the PC crowd being a bunch of not nice people. Sorry, I didn't want to say anything nasty, but not nice people. And then people I'm like, well, come on, man. But I mean, guys, you got to kind of accept it. However, that doesn't mean that you as a human being have to be a nasty, horrible human being. What was Red Wolf saying?
Red Wolf says, actually, history shows that in dire situations like mass floods, fires, etc., people usually come together and help. Yeah,
that's because their lives are their lives are at stake. But certainly when it comes to something where you're starving to death, you're eating your neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I like a good ribeye, and I think human flesh might be delicious. Oh wait, our show just got taken down.
Remember when he shot Flanders? They're like, oh my God, Dad, you shot zombie Flanders. He was a zombie?
You sounded like him. That was good. That was a good impression of Homer. It reminds me of the Walking Dead early episode when the family has their little red wagon with all their supplies, and they have their kids and the wife, and this guy comes up and says, give me all your stuff, we're starving. And the dad just stands there, and the wife's like, do something, use your gun, and the dad won't. And that's something you don't often get in video games. Like even the Red Dead 2 campaign, which is probably my favorite game ever made, doesn't really give you that Wild West thing where someone comes up and is like, with your gun, like, do I? Well, yeah, it's usually black or white.
Your hand on there.
Yeah, it's usually like, give me your horse. I mean, there are people that come up they try to be nice. NPCs will go, Mister, I need help, and then they pull you off the horse, and it's hilarious. But losing your gear by dying when you die in a video game, and it feels like that's why From Software games are so important. That's why they're so popular. Like when you die, you're like, oh my gosh, the last 37 minutes is wiped if I don't go back and get my runes in Elden Ring, right? And when you die in ARC Raiders, everybody knows, right? Everything that was on you is gone. you have to go back and resupply your backpack. And that feeling is really cool. So,
well, the thing is, it's also if you look at video games in general, like for example, I'll take you mentioned Red Dead Redemption 2. I'll bring up Ghost of Yotei. Same thing. Like I'm riding my horse, just doing my thing, and there's like long grass. I get to an area, and all of a sudden they come out and they're like, and I'm like, oh, come on. You know what I mean? It's like there's a guy there with like a broken wagon, and he's waving you down, and then you kind of go over there, and all of a sudden a bunch of assassins come out of the thing, and I'm like, listen, man, I was just gonna help this dude with the wheel, but I'm literally going to cut you all into pieces and just shake my sword in the snow. But the thing is, if you do die, what happens to you, Colt? Nothing.
Nothing.
You literally spawn right where you died.
Yeah, your checkpoints are really good in most games like that. Yeah.
So the reason why I'm bringing that up, and you lose nothing, right? You don't lose XP, you don't lose your swords, you don't lose your armor, you don't lose any of that stuff. So there's no consequence really to you dying. So like you lose that thrill of, holy crap, I've got 3 guys I'm facing here right now. I better make sure I am pitch perfect because I'm going to lose everything. Or even like a FromSoft game or whatever. But like you get the majority of games, you die, you respawn right there, and you could just do it again and again and again and again, and there's no consequence.
Most open world games like that, a checkpoint clicks right before the attack, and then you die, and it puts you back where the checkpoint was, but that instance is not there. So now you're just like even more safe. So
well, that's the thing. And so what I was getting at, Colt, is that people get trained into that, right? They get trained of, well, I die, who cares? I just spawn. Yeah. I spawn 10 feet behind where I was.
Remember when?
And then you walk up and you do it again. So then when you play, almost 90% of games are like that. You get to a game like Arc Raiders, people get shook. Because like, what do you mean I don't respawn immediately and have all my stuff? Right?
Yeah, I was going to say, like last gen, it was your punishment was a long loading screen until you come back, but now everything's so instantaneous. But I don't know. I think it's good to feel like, oh my gosh, the stakes are high. Like if you don't save often in a Bethesda game, it's like I don't know how far back it's going to be if I end up dying. So the stakes are high, and those are good things. But I don't know. When it comes to competitive versus cooperative, I'm going to say something that a lot of people aren't going to like, but I've had many instances playing with Red Wolf, Holly, and Fawns where we've been attacked and we've taken them down, and you knock them down, you loot their stuff. And then I've had many instances where I'm the one that gets attacked and killed, and I have to reload and refill my backpack. The point I'm getting at is I can tell you with utmost certainty that my more enjoyable moments is not getting the upper hand on someone who attacked. It is finding someone who cooperates and talks on the mic and becomes like this temporary friend. It's this really cool, unique feeling that you're like this organic thing. And I want to talk about another Xbox game later in the show that'll circle back to Arc Raiders. But my instances of people being cool in the game far outweigh the thrill and excitement of taking someone down who might have been better equipped or better skilled than me, and I can tell you that every single time. And so when I see a good friend of mine who just shoots people in the back of the head while they're extracting or dropping gear, hey, thanks for the gear, he didn't have his gun out. I'm like, where's the thrill in that? I don't know what the thrill is there, and I understand it's Wild West. It's Wild West. You get free loot, you get XP for knocking them down, but I could tell you which.
My instinct is not there either. Like, for example, like if I'm doing my own thing, I'm building my own character, getting my own gear, doing whatever, leveling up my guns and all that kind of stuff, or whatever I'm going to be doing. And I don't feel the urge when I see somebody else. I would rather cooperate with that person, be like, yo, there's a dude over there. Let's work together. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Like, I'm the kind of guy that, like, if something happens and there's something on the ground, I'll let them take it. I'll be like, no, take it.
I am too.
I'm good.
Every time.
And I'm like one of those dudes. I'm like, yeah, take it. Like, it's not in my character, my soul. However, I'm very much like Roadhouse, okay? I'm nice until
Sure.
I'm not nice.
Yep.
Right. So you only push me so far. Don't take my, as what is it? What is that saying? Don't mistake my kindness for weakness. That's a little bit different. But I am super kind, super nice, super giving, and I would rather cooperate with somebody. Absolutely, 100% of the time. I'd be like, hey, dude, let's do this together. Let's get to the end goal. We're both, trying to get to the, whatever the end goal here. We're all trying to make it alive together and get all this stuff and bring back our various pickups and whatever and loot and go off our own separate ways, but we kind of work together on it. I'm more that kind of person. However, if you're going to be the other guy, I will slit your throat and then come after your family. Like it's like that that's it. Or maybe your family first, make you watch, and then slit your throat. But whatever it's going to be, like I said, I'm nice until I'm not nice. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, listen, man, I tried to be nice and now you did this, now you're dead.
You don't have to be nice in Arc Raiders.
For all that.
Yeah, and you don't have to be nice, and everyone plays games differently, and if it didn't have that, if they didn't have people like that who are like, hey, if you're not ready, I'll take you down, right? That's what brings that tension that makes the game so unique, and I hope they never change that. I hope they don't build a PvE only mode because it'll push everybody over, and then that'll just be everyone will just be shooting at each other constantly. You won't have that moment of when somebody cooperates, it's really cool. When someone goes sideways and you have a firefight, it's a really cool moment. The other day when I was playing, these guys were fighting drones, and I was like, hey, I got you. I'll help you. I'll help you. And I took down a drone for him. And they're like, hey, thanks. And I turn around and I start opening the door, and he's like, oh, he doesn't have his gun out. I'm going to shoot him. I'm like, I just helped you. And Holly and Reb were like, what the crap, man? We were being cool. But that's just part of the game. But
yeah, like I would prefer to help people. Like when I see people online, I'm like, hey, hello there, fellow high schoolers. Let's go do some stuff. And like, I'm all in on that. You know what I mean? Like I want to do that. But I mean, if you want to turn me into Patrick Swayze, then I'll turn into Patrick Swayze. I'll start roundhouse kicking everybody through windows. Like, then, you know what I mean? But like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather work together. And that's why I like games like Battlefield, for example. Like if you take even Battlefield 6, it's not just a mindless, like the other one. I'm playing the other one and I'm having fun with it, but it's still bad, but I'm still having fun. If, like I said, I know some people can't seem to comprehend that, but either way, Battlefield though, you get in a squad, even with strangers or with your friends or with, channel members or whatever I'm doing, right? Who are my friends, by the way. It's so much more fun to be like, all right, dude, I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to scout ahead. You go down over here. I'll watch your ass while you get, you know what I mean? Get over to site B. I'll be watching you from above. You got two other guys in the squad. They're going to come and flank from the other side. Anybody goes down, at least we're within 15 meters of each other to be able to take each other, you know what I mean? To revive each other, and we'll keep going and all that kind of stuff. I love that. I love the teamwork. I love being able to have strategy, teamwork, working together for a common goal. I just don't understand like the whole like, yeah, let me just shoot you in the back because my mom didn't love me and my dad didn't read me stories at night, or he went out for milk and never came back. So let me shoot everybody in the back now.
It's fine. Like the lore of the game is everyone lives in this underground bunker together and they're going up on the surface to bring supplies back so we can all survive. So the lore kind of like, why would you shoot the people that live in the underground with you? So whatever, right? But it's also cool when you see somebody running and you're kind of like, we cool? We cool? Or they shoot at you and you're like, okay, it's time to get tactical. That stuff's great. I'm totally good with that. But the like, let me drop you some items. I'll help you out. I mean, you can come help us take down this robot. And they're like, hey, thanks for using up all your ammo. Now I'm going to kill you and take all of your team's stuff. It makes good troll content. I've seen the montages. I've seen the videos on it. It's really like entertaining stuff, and it gets a lot of clicks. People really enjoy it. So it's like the evil side of Arc Raiders that's helped make it super popular. So, but I'm just not that type of person.
People love negativity, right? I mean, like look at what sells. Negativity sells. Doom scrolling on Instagram. Any news network. It's all death. This, that, whatever. And it's just like, people just drawn to that.
Not
kind
here.
Of stuff.
It's huge update. Huge upgrade.
Yeah, like it's stupid. I mean, if your parents didn't love you, it's fine. You can go cry yourself to sleep or drink like everybody else. You don't have to like shoot me in the back while I'm trying to get gear. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of, that's...
Go to the store and buy a bottle of whiskey and cry yourself to sleep. It's totally okay. Or you can call me. I'll help you through it.
It is
but
interesting.
Don't shoot me in the back.
After the show, you all should think about, put yourself when you go to sleep tonight, say, what would it be like if the world was apocalyptic and you had some firearms and it was like you can go out in the world and find stuff to supply your family? Like, what type of person would you be? Like, would you try and like rally people together so you have a better chance of survival, or would you every man out for himself? And like really think about what you do. And I know a lot of people say it says a lot about a person, but it is just a video game. Let's talk about Jeff.
It's cool though, because it mirrors life. Like it mirrors like what you would be. Like you start to question yourself and your humanity, right?
Sure.
And you start thinking about what would I do in this situation?
Or what would someone do if they could get to my house? Like if they think that I have food or supplies, they would definitely kick in my door if they could. And if I've got a way to protect myself, my family, and the things that keep us alive, yeah, sure. It's an interesting thing to think about. And Arc Raiders is one game that actually kind of scratches that itch. And I want to talk about State of Decay 3 because Fonz had a really great idea about how they could actually make that game so much better than what it could actually be. But we'll get into that in just a little bit during the show. But I want to talk to you about this Game Awards Jeff Keighley mysterious statue that was posted on Twitter like 4 days ago. And everyone, the embarrassing replies and the I was so wrong because I took something that Jez said as gospel, and I was pretty sure what I looked at that it was Diablo related. And so I'm like, everyone's like, oh, I could put it up on the screen, but everyone's like, oh, it's God of War. It's God of War Egypt. I'm like, what looks like God of War Egypt to you in this image? Like, what is the cope that is going on here? Oh my gosh, it's Bloodborne 2. It's like, or it's Saros, which it could be. Or what were the other things people were saying it was going to be? Elder Scrolls 6.
First of all, Elder Scrolls seems to be a popular one because someone mentioned it to me because I put up a YouTube short of me just staring at the stone, and I'm just like, what is this?
I haven't seen
and I'm
that.
just like, oh yeah, I just put it up like an hour ago. I'm just like screaming at the stone, right? And I'm just like, what are you?
That's the one you put up tonight. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I just put it like right before the show. It's actually pretty funny. So yeah, it's just me screaming at the stone. And so like people are losing their minds. However, someone in the chat though, the only one that really made sense to me now, Soros is a possibility because if you actually look at that, like what seems to be like an eyeball, and it looked like it had like multiple arms kind of thing. Tentacles, it kind of looked like that Soros sort of Vishnu. You know what I mean? Like the Indian god Vishnu with all the arms and stuff. It kind of looked like that. And it kind of looked like the Soros thing. I'm like, that makes sense. And then someone else said something. Now, I am not deep in the lore of Elder Scrolls. However, someone kind of schooled me on that today and said, well, actually, in the Elder Scrolls, there's these portals that open up to different, not dimensions, but
that was in Oblivion.
And that. And
it looks like
it was. But
looks like a gateway to hell. Yeah.
Right. It's like and they said it shows up several times in different Elder Scrolls and even like the other like outside of the video games material and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, that could be it too. You never who knows? And so the only ones that I could narrow it down to would be Soros or Elder Scrolls.
Because it's not Diablo, because Diablo was Diablo 4 or Diablo 4 DLC was debunked and kicked out of the discussion by Jason Schreier this morning. Right. He said, I can tell you it's not Diablo 4, but it's something cool. And then Corey Barlog of Sony Santa Monica said, I can tell you it's not God of War. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's God of War this, God of War Egypt, which looks nothing Egyptian.
It looks nothing like Egyptian artwork.
And it looks nothing like God of War. They're like, oh, it's his armor. I'm like, that barely resembles one style of armor from Kratos or God of War. And
even then, that's a stretch.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know enough about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. And I'd like to ask Red Wolf to kind of type in the chat. I'll try and keep an eye on it. He's having another discussion. But Red Wolf is one of my resident experts when it comes to Elder Scrolls. He helped me write a video about 6 months ago with a bunch of lore. But like, what do you get from this? It looks like Elder Scrolls because, Mag, you're right. It's like an eye. It's so funny. People are like, oh my gosh, it's the world serpent from God of War. I'm like, it's just a snake. And there's literally an alligator. So I'm like, what is it? Bayou Billy? What is this thing? So yeah,
there's not tentacles. The world serpent. The world serpent was part of the Viking lore, not Egyptian lore. It's got nothing to do with that. That's a huge stretch to say it's God of War. Now, God of War is coming. It's just that specific. Yeah, it's just not that statue. I don't think so. Anyway, like I said, I can't. Yeah, I can't say for absolute certain what it is, but I'm just saying my suspicions would lean towards what I had said. I can't think of anything else that makes any sense. Right?
Crispy Bomb says, my guess is Hellblade. I just don't think so. I think Hellblade is done. I think Senua's Saga is the last Hellblade we're going to see. I would bet that Ninja Theory, whatever they make, it'll be another female character with a bandana on her head, because that's what they've done the last 4 games. Heavenly Sword had a character that looked like an evolution of the girl from Odyssey of the West, Enslaved. And then Senua looks kind of like that girl in the same kind of style of outfit. So I don't know. I would expect Ninja Theory to do something different. Satnus says it could be intergalactic. But intergalactic's already been proven to not be at the Game Awards, right?
Yeah, dude, I'm getting that's a funny thing. Like it's kind of quiet right now, and a lot of people out there have been kind of quiet, except for this Keeley thing. Like I'm not hearing much about the Game Awards at all. Like about like what's happening and like there's going to be this announcement. Usually we hear this stuff by now, but like it's been pretty tight-lipped, so it's been pretty wild. That not a lot of information is crossing my plate, and a lot of people out there, even the guys in the background, aren't even really talking. So that's that's a good thing too, because I'd rather be surprised than know the whole damn show before it happens. But this thing, I have no idea. Just suspicions. That's all I can say. I have suspicions.
Eroka says, Adventures of Bayou Billy 2. I got to ask, Mag, do you know what Bayou Billy is? Did you play that?
I do not know what Bayou Billy is.
It was an NES game. No, it was a side-scroller beat-em-up where you play as like Crocodile Dundee type character. You had a whip, and you punched and kicked alligators. And then the second stage was a driving stage in a Jeep. And then the third stage was a shoot 'em up. I don't know what you call it, but you move the cursor around in first person, and you shot like a shooting gallery. And then the fourth level is back to side-scroller beat 'em up. And then it went back to a driving scene, and then it went to the shoot 'em up. It did that over and over through the campaign. And this game came out in like 88, 89. And I remember my mom was with me when I was buying a game with my own money, because they were $40 back then. And she goes, this one looks really good. And she looked at the back of the box. She goes, look, it has like 3 different games in one, because it had the side scroller, the driving, and the shooting. And my mom totally sold me on that game. And it's an absolute classic.
I'm watching it right now. It's even got like double dragon. It even has like double dragon fighting going on. Like
if you're looking at playthrough, skip ahead like 5 minutes, and you'll see the Jeep driving segment where you have to.
Yeah, I saw the Jeep, the green Jeep. Yeah.
Yep. That's hilarious. Then it's got the shoot 'em. Yeah, it's kind of a really cool game that I don't know if a lot of people played it.
I thought Bayou Billy was like Rob Schneider's character from The Waterboy. It's like, oh no, we suck again.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really difficult game. I think I got to the last boss and died a bunch of times, and then it never finished it. So the games back then took like 4 hours to complete, but you were sweating the entire time. But anyway, I don't know. My money is on for this statue is, we know it's not God of War, and it's not Diablo, and it's not Intergalactic, and it's not, I don't know. So my money is either on Soros or something. Maybe it's something brand new. But Jason Schreier won't tell us.
No, he's not going to say anything about it. No,
because he knows. So, we did get some good news that will push us into next generation. Xbox is actively removing the barriers that allows games to never even come to Xbox at all. Basically, what this I think this happened just before we were on break from X&C, but it's worth talking about because they are going to make porting games on Xbox and Xbox PC as easy and seamless as it is on Steam and PlayStation, which has been one of the major problems. When people are like, why do small developers skip the Xbox platform? It's like, well, how many sales are going to get? Plus, we have to do all that extra work, like 2 to 3 times more work than to make a PlayStation version. This is a big deal. And it also coincides with something I said in a video, that you may see more PC-like versions of games if you're on a next-generation Xbox, which means the PlayStation version will have a performance and a quality mode, and the Xbox version would have much more tunability for the game, which could be really, really cool. In fact, if you That means if you wanted to buy an ultra wide monitor to start off next gen, you can absolutely do that. I don't know if the PS6 will do that, but one of the, I don't know how much more, Chris Charla, who's at ID at Xbox, who works with all size of developers, has said this is going to be a major change to get games on the Xbox, because that needs to stop, where developers are like, we don't need him. We're fine. We're good. So I don't know. Not much to discuss there on that, but
not really. I was going to say, but
the
one thing I was going to say that there's another angle to that too, is that a lot of them would look at like the metrics of the Xbox hardware specifically, not the PC access to Xbox, like the Xbox hardware, and they're like, well, you know, like look where it's sitting or whatever. But the thing, like, you know, it's not selling well or whatever. But the thing is, at the end of the day, if you're still going to get some sales out of it that's actually worth the port, I don't see why you wouldn't, right? I mean, like, there's a healthy enough base there that even if you could sell 500,000 copies there, does that weigh out the cost the cost to port the game to that specific console, right? And then you have to look at that as well. And then they're like, well, if it's worth it, and if we could sell, or their projections say, well, we could sell X amount of games on that system, or what we think we may sell on that system, is that worth it at the end of the day for us? Yes or no? The other thing is, especially with small developers, they're like, well, we don't think it's actually worth it over there, but we may, if we could get a chunk of money up front for, let's say, Game Pass. That's what a lot of them angle for these days, right? Especially the smaller developers, not the big ones. The bigger developers don't bother with that, but the smaller ones would, because they want the exposure, right? And the exposure gets it out there, more people playing it. Then, of course, that also helps with purchases and all that. But
there's an interesting shift that's happening right now. I'm so glad you said that, Mag, because smaller developers, like you said, Game Pass, oh, that's a good incentive. Now the bigger developers are saying, oh, play anywhere, which means you'll give us a little extra money to be on, to put our game on the Xbox. Silent Hill F just it finally coming to Xbox. It's Play Anywhere. There's another really big game that was coming out this year, or just came out, that got Play Anywhere. So I know we talk a lot about Xbox doesn't like really push their platform like they're supposed to, but stuff is happening behind the scenes that makes me really feel a lot more confident, Mag, because if they're willing to say, hey, we're going to give you this chunk of money to go to Game Pass, but if you're too big for that, we're going to give you a chunk of money to be Play Anywhere, which you were going to be on the Xbox anyway. Why not take an extra amount of money and then you're on PC and Xbox with cross progression? So there are some big changes. I know everyone's like, Xbox dead. Whenever I hear it, I just laugh because people have no clue. The days of Xbox priority number one being their hardware, it's going to be like priority number 3, because they're all about people buying their games and then having access in their ecosystem, and then buy their hardware if you want. But they're definitely making something cool. Let me read
the accessibility.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the accessibility. That's their name of the game at this point, because we've talked about that a million times. It's like, you know, Nintendo does their thing. They're reliant on their hardware because that's the only access you have to their software is through that specific hardware. Sony, very similar, although they've sort of expanded with the PC a little bit. However, if you still want that day and date, you have to buy that hardware. That's why they lock it behind that hardware for X amount of time, that they know that they get that FOMO out of people, right? You don't think like for example, like Wolverine, Wolverine ain't coming no PC until 2027, or even if later than that. They want you to buy the hardware to do that.
Well,
Xbox is, dude, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You'll never get day and date. I'll tell you that right now.
I've heard something from one of our mutual friends that kind of contradicts that, which I'll get into in just a second.
The shortening of the, go ahead.
Possibly, the shortening of the hairs.
Shortening. Yeah.
The great shortening.
The great shortening? Yeah. I did hear about that too.
You know what shortening is, right? I don't know if what the brand name of shortening is. Crisco, right?
Yeah, basically it's Crisco. Yeah.
When I was
like synthetic fat.
Yeah, it is. It's synthetic lard. My younger brother and his friend were fighting each other, slapping each other with Crisco and rubbing at each other's hair. And my mom is a hairdresser. And so like back in like 1990, my mom spent hours cleaning Crisco out of my brother's hair. And his hair was like, so don't ever do that. Like, cause it's
don't light a match around him either.
It's like,
hey man, you got a light for my smoke? Woof. Yeah.
be like an everlasting flame on his head. P Lump.
He looked like Sweet Tooth from
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. Like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Anyhow,
Growing up in the
sorry.
80s and 90s, man, you had access to debilitations that no one would ever even think of these days. P Lump, thank you for the $2 super chat. It says, Paris, stop the hate campaign. PlayStation is dead. Well, we'll see. Face 23, Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much for the $20 super. It says, PlayStation 5's 2026 upcoming games. This is incredible lineup. Wolverine, Soros, Marvel Token, I think he would say it. Neo 3.
Token,
Yeah, no one really talks about Neo, but the Neo games are really well loved, and they're always really highly rated. Phantom Blade Zero, which I think is not coming to Xbox.
Dude.
And
I
MLB
forgot
The
about
Show
that game.
26. It's going to be hard to play MLB The Show when our teams didn't win last year, huh?
Can we not?
I was playing Fortnite with my kids yesterday, and there was a Shohei Ohtani skin running around the map with an assault rifle. I'm like, is this really? Come on. I love that guy. He's good, though.
I would have smashed the TV if my son had a Shohei Ohtani a skin on Fortnite. Actually, you know what's kind of funny? Remember what we talked about? We talked about this a million times about, everybody these days, they just want to play this and that, whatever. Guess what? My kids have now reached the threshold. They don't play Fortnite anymore. They're like, nah, the game's done. And now the game's not done. It's doing incredibly well. The Simpsons expansion is making billions of dollars. They're doing incredibly well. But yeah, it's over now. They got the next thing coming out. But either way, it's funny how people always think that everybody's just going to play those games because they're born in a different generation. And I'm like, no. Don't you understand? Just because they're born as a Gen Z or a Gen or whatever doesn't mean they're going to be playing Fortnite and Apex forever. They're going to mature on. I'm not saying you have to be immature to play those games, but what I'm saying is that you're going to change your taste. And guess what? Now my son is playing adventure games, RPGs, sports games with his friends, whatever. And so his trajectory and taste has changed as he's aging now, right? And so I'm like, he's basically going to become like one of us. So at the end of the day, it's always going to be an audience for everything. So sorry, I just wanted to plug that in there because people think that it's just so cut and dry. You're 15, you were born in 2005 and up, you're only playing Fortnite.
Yeah, like, no. I mean, I did play. I was playing with them the other day, and there's a whole new season. They have the Kill Bill thing going on, and Stranger Things, and I can't talk about that. We watched the show. We watched all the episodes as soon as we got home. Still a great series, man.
Oh yeah,
have you watched it?
M Machine. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Are you kidding me? Of course I watched.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that off the air. Yeah, I muted the word Stranger Things on social media, so I wouldn't get anything spoiled, but I was like, oh yeah, we'll watch it. And then I was like,
I watched it within the 20
reel back in.
I watched it within that 24 hours. Like, the 24 hours that it was released. I watched it within there and then I didn't get spoiled. But however, I got to ask one quick question, and it's not spoilerish and it's got nothing to do with the story. Why is it every time a Demogorgon comes out of like a hole, it stares at somebody, looks at you for 3 seconds, and then goes, and then attacks you?
That's their thing.
Every single time. Why doesn't he just come out of the hole and stab you in the face?
Or just
go. He always has to stop. Yeah, he always has to stop. Make sure his presence is known. Like, how do you not see him? The guy's 11 feet tall. And then he comes out, he stares at you and goes, hey, what's up? And then like his flower face, the flower from like Super Mario Brothers 3, it opens up and he just goes, saliva. And then he goes,
that's what he sounds like.
Yeah, like Boss Nass from Star Wars Episode 1. Binks. You know what I mean? And so like, I'm like, what is this? Like, I could have shot him in the mouth 6 times while he's standing there just going with his flower face. I never understood that.
Before they add in all the sound effects, he's like, rah, rah, ha, ha. It's like when you hear Darth Vader, like from
a guy in a mocap suit.
Yeah, the guy that plays Darth Vader, he's like German, right? Yeah. He's like, German potatoes? You know what the plans are, eh? Yeah, or
How
whatever.
funny was that when he did that? I always forget his name. The guy who actually played in the suit.
I can't remember.
And then they had his voice, and he was so offended that he wasn't in the final cut. I'm like, dude, James Earl Jones in a studio or your voice is like, it's like, you have the plans of the Death Star. Take her away. And I'm like, dude, you sound horrible. Like, you watch those cuts; they're so funny.
Take her away, sir.
Yeah.
He's English? I thought he was German.
No, he's English.
He is
I just
English?
always forget his name. It starts with a P. His last name starts with a
David
P.
Prouder or something like that.
Prowse,
Something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
David Prowse.
David Prowse.
Thank
There
you,
you go.
fucking
David Prowse.
Playbox.
I knew it was with a P. Yeah, David Prowse. Yeah.
Dang,
He was
I don't know how
offended
I
that he wasn't
remembered
picked.
that.
And it's like, dude, you sound ridiculous, okay? And then you sound muffled with the helmet on. You sound like, you sound like Bane before they fixed the audio.
That's like Hayden Christensen and Obi-Wan. Ewan McGregor. The first time they were doing their lightsaber battle, they were making the noises, and they're like, guys, we'll be doing that in post. They're like, with their mouths.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because, they were making the sounds. And it was like, can you imagine George be like, guys, cut. Can you cut the horse crap, please? Someone give me a Coke Zero.
Mag,
Where's Steven Spielberg?
I kind of wanted to buy the $200 real lightsaber when I was at Galaxy's Edge, but
dude, I was so close.
Something
I bought a
like,
BB-8 though.
You did?
You know the remote control BB-8. So
Yeah.
you know how you can go like into the Cloud City, and like they had the Ugnaughts, like the Ugnaughts were there, and like they were handing you all the parts.
Not in
like,
Disneyland, but Disney World has Cloud City thing.
They had, it's like a Cloud City like droid factory. Like you go inside the thing and they have like the Ugnaughts in there, and they have all the parts, and you could build your own droid. It was like a whole workshop, and so you build your whole droid. So we built a BB-8. Dude, this thing is like 10, 15 pounds. It's like thunk. It's like a big hunk of metal, and it's remote control.
How much?
So like I have like BB-8 rolling around my house, like, and then you could turn it on automatic, and he just rolls around the house without bumping into stuff. It has a sensor, kind of like that stupid vacuum cleaner that people buy.
Yeah, like the Roomba.
Yeah, the Roomba. Yeah, it's kind of like that. So like you can like BB-8 rolls around my house. It's pretty cool, man.
How much was it?
A lot.
500.
I don't remember offhand. I just know it was a lot.
You just
the only thing that
with your card.
No, dude, we were there, and Red Wolf was saying 100. No, dude, it was more than 100.
Yeah, the helmets, the replica helmets are 150 US.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the only thing that pissed me off when I was there is I was so thirsty. It was really hot that day, and I'm like, can I get a diet Sprite? Because like there was no water. They had blue milk and stuff and alcohol inside the cantina, but they had this area where they had these thermal detonators, and they were like Sprite or Diet Coke or whatever, right? And it literally looked like a thermal detonator. Remember the ones from like Return of the Jedi? When Leia was dressed up as the bounty hunter, he's like,
yeah.
And he's like, because she's holding a double thermal detonator. You know, C-3PO. And so, anyways, they had these pops, whatever, sodas, whatever you guys want to call them. And I'm like, can I get the Diet Sprite thermal detonator, please? And she's like, that'll be 35 Republic credits. And I'm like, in English. I was so mad.
35.
She said it in Republic. She said it in Republic credits. And I'm like, what is the actual price? And she was in character, right? So
yeah, they're always.
I mean, if I had a lightsaber, I would have struck her down.
Oh my gosh!
You know.
But Meg, you're very violent tonight. I'm
just kidding. I'm not violent at all. Only if provoked. Like I said, I'm like Patrick Swayze. I sit at the bar. I drink my coffee black. I wait for the brawl.
The judge is like, well,
try to talk him
he
out
was
of it,
provoked.
and then I murder everybody.
Speaking of murderers, KY Bob, who's been a channel member for 73 months, says,
"What's
up, guys? Wow, 73 months. Hard to believe that. I think the new statue is new DLC content for Oblivion. I can't imagine Jason Schreier saying new DLC content for Oblivion would be something on the menu, but I'm not sure. Arrow Nation.
Hold on a second.
What's that?
Oh, hey, Arrow Nation. How you doing, buddy? Go ahead.
Arrow Nation TV, welcome to Early Access for joining the channel membership. Appreciate it. What do you... Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe KY is being funny there, but new DLC for the old Oblivion game? I don't know. But I just don't think it's Elder Scrolls. I just don't know enough.
Okay, you want to hear an interesting theory?
Yes.
You know how Sega's doing a revitalization of their old IPs, right? Like Crazy Taxi and some other games they got coming out. Remember?
They literally just said they're not a retro company. Anyway,
who
go
said
add.
that?
Like
you know,
one of the
CEOs,
one of the CEOs was asked, like, why don't you guys do like a mini Dreamcast in the 25th anniversary or whatever? And they're like, we're not a retro company. I'm like, you've already done the Sega Mini and the Genesis Mini, and you're remastering your old games. Anyway, sorry.
Well, no, not remastering. Aren't they building them from the ground up? Like this whole new initiative of like they're revitalizing the old IPs, like Crazy Taxi and some other ones or whatever. Remember they were wasn't Sarah Bond there like 2 years ago talking to Sega? She was in Japan doing something and whatever, and they were having a little discussion because they were going to have some kind of like a partnership, not a Game Pass, but like a partnership with Sega and releasing some of these like revitalized IPs or whatever. So anyways, I just looked it up and someone said he says, without question, it's going to be Altered Beast. And I'm like, okay, explain. Cool. And he says, the bear looks exactly like the bear from the game. And if you put them side by side, it's almost identical. Note the human hands on the bear. Also, one of the demons looks oddly similar to the demons you fight in that bear stage. And
on the statue?
Interesting take. That's just somebody online I just found right now. He just said that. He goes, if you look at it and look at it through the scope of Altered Beast, he goes, the bear in the image has human hands. And I'm like, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, and that crocodile just looks like a regular crocodile.
And it's been a couple of years since Sega announced that they were revitalizing old IP and they were going to be remaking them from the ground up. Right? Maybe now's the time you start announcing something. Who the hell knows? And listen, this is not from me. This is some dude I was talking to online. He just put that out there, and I'm like, that's very interesting. Shout out to him. His name is Bogus Meat Factory, by the way. Fantastic name.
That is a good name.
Fantastic
I'm looking at this
online name.
Bogus Meat. What?
Bogus Meat Factory. Yeah, he put that in the comment section. I'm like, dude. That's pretty good.
I mean, I could put this image on the
Xbox
screen.
is king. This is what we're talking about, dude. It says whatever happened to those classic Sega games they were remaking. That's what I was talking about. You remember even Sarah Bond went, like I said, she went back there in 2023, I think it was. And remember she took a picture on the train and she took a picture of the Sega building.
Yep.
And whatever else. And they were, now, what I had reported back then is that they were actually in talks of a marketing partnership of putting it together, not to put the games on Game Pass, but they were going to be marketed in conjunction with Xbox and PC or whatever the hell. So they were doing some of that kind of work, and then, hey, you never know. I mean, it could end up in Game Pass for all we know. But all I know is that that's a possibility too. Now, it's been a couple of years. Maybe now's the time you start talking about what you've been working on behind the scenes. It's a possibility. Be very interesting to see.
Okay. Sorry, now I forgot where I was. Oh, we got Boner Jams in the chat. Boner Jams says, saw Mag at the food pantry on Thanksgiving and then saw him quickly leave out the back door with 7 cans of cranberry sauce and 2 turkeys.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Yeah.
We just had our Thanksgiving. Yeah, I just don't love turkey, but I love everything else. Red Wolf says
I just finished the last of my turkey today. Because we did it. We did it on Saturday, though. Yeah, we did it on Saturday.
Yeah, we had ours yesterday because we flew home on Thanksgiving Day, and so we postponed it to last night.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. Red Wolf says about that statue, thank you for the $2 super chat. Oh, check out Boner Jams on Under the Bus podcast on Wednesday nights at around the same time that XNC is on Wednesday, if you want to hear them talk about everything under the sun. Red Wolf says, the eye looks like Hermias Mora from Skyrim DLC. I'm going to Google that.
Okay. So there's another hint towards Elder Scrolls. This is fun. See, I like this kind of stuff.
I don't know. I don't think it looks like that per se if I'm looking at these images.
I like this kind of stuff, though. Like, it's fun, isn't it? Like, you've provoked interest and intrigue. And that's exciting to me, not have the whole damn show spoiled before it happens. So then when you watch the show, you're just waiting for, all right, is this the point where they're going to announce Ninja Gaiden 4 or whatever, right? And so, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's not fun. Like the intrigue is what. Look at the conversation it has. Red Wolf, knock that off. Did you see what he just wrote?
Look at the testicles and the eye in the middle. Looks very similar. The difference, the thing that Red Wolf sent was more like a fat, stubby tentacle sun. Tentacles, NT, big difference. That's from Better Off Dead. Yeah, it doesn't really look like that, but you know, he's got these long arms coming out on the statue. And what Jeff Keighley, this must have been part of a marketing deal with whoever this is, and Jason Schreier's in on what is happening. So Jeff Keighley puts this out and says, here's the coordinates. And, Destin Legary talked about actually driving the hour down to actually look at the thing himself.
Yeah,
and get more pictures. Yeah. And so I think it'd be cool if he did that, if he took the time to do that. But
dude, it's an hour away. Just go.
Just go. Grab some 4XP
go for a
and
little,
drive.
Family trip. Take the little one and your wife and you go down. Go check
Why
it out.
are we here again? Just be quiet. I'm taking pictures.
We're staring at a rock.
Literal says whatever it ends up will probably be very lame. It could be.
Literal
but
table. Listen,
Jason Schreier says it's very cool.
Okay, well, we riot if it's not cool. All right.
Well,
we all on the same page here, folks. We riot.
Jeff Keighley typically
monitors
has
across the room.
Jeff Keighley typically has a handful of really cool things, like at least 2 or 3 really cool things at his show. And whatever they're cooking up, it could be a whole new game that doesn't even have a name. So, or it's I don't know, whatever. When I look at that, I do not get excited about the possibilities. I was going to say, if I'm being honest, I don't know why people use a phrase like that. But my personal opinion, when I look at that statue, it does not excite me because I have no idea what it is. And whatever it could be, I don't think it's Elder Scrolls 6. So other than that, to me, it could be a polyp on someone's, lower regions. I have no idea. To me, it doesn't excite me.
I mean, I'm not going to overhype it to the point where I'm going to whip myself up into a frenzy over it. I don't really care that much. But
can you show me?
I am intrigued.
Can you show me what whipping up a frenzy looks like?
like you know what I mean? Like get all the
One of those
all right
things at the car dealership.
The wacky inflatable arm flailing 2 men. Yeah. I like either that or else Team America World Police. All right, if you get in trouble undercover, we'll give you the secret code for help. Yeah, what's that? I want you to wave your arms like this.
I love it.
The Muppets better be back. Game adaptation.
Yeah,
we need the 2 old men there. Yeah, they were great. The Muppets are
Listen, you mean Mag and Colt?
Fantastic. Yeah, Mag and Colt up in the thing. Is
yeah.
Jeff Keighley's kicking her ass. Yeah, whatever. Those guys. Listen, man, the Muppets are hilarious. They were hilarious in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and now Muppets are still funny.
They're whatever funny. That statue is, Jeff better have his doctor take a look at it. Something like that. Yeah, Cyber's like, what if it was Mass Effect 4? It doesn't look anything. There's no crocodiles in Mass Effect, so that's a funky looking Turian.
That you know of. Yeah, that you know of. They might have intergalactic crocodiles in this next one.
I mean, Exodus does. Exodus has like gigantic space bears. Anything's possible. All right.
Hey, man.
Give us a thumbs up on the show if you guys are excited about this statue and you cannot wait to see what it's going to be. And if you're not excited, give us a thumbs up on the podcast if you're not excited. This is XD Podcast. We run the show live almost every Monday when we can. And we're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and other podcast platforms. And big thanks to everyone who's been watching the show. Especially on Spotify, Mag. There's a lot of people who've been watching and commenting on that platform. There's about
lovely
2,500 people that listen to that after the fact. And then we have 10 to 15,000 that watch it here. So we appreciate you for your support. Will the Broke Boy Lewis, thank you for gifting a channel membership for the show. We appreciate that so much. Let's talk about PlayStation 6 is not going to be a conventional console, according to this insider that said that Sony is totally confirmed, according to this person, to put Steam on the PS6. This news comes from Hip Hop Gamer. He has gotten some things right. He's gotten some things that have been called out before, and then he said he got it first. I haven't watched enough of his stuff to know when those timings line up, but I watched his video today. Within that video, he interviewed a service rep or a product rep at a laptop convention, gaming convention, and asked them about Grand Theft Auto 6, which is another reveal in his video. We could talk about that later, but he thinks that Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming to PC very, 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 very soon. But I want to talk about this supposed confirmed Steam on PlayStation 6. And I asked Mag hours before the show went up to give that some thought and give me his opinion on that before we went up. So Mag, what the shunk is this confirmed supposed rumor that they would put Steam on the PlayStation 6?
Well, shout out to Hip Hop Gamer first and foremost. He was here in this chat a little while ago. I think it was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
maybe a month ago. He was in this chat saying hi to us, and he knows us really well. We know him well. Yeah. However, this specific rumor, I'm trying to figure out the motivation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying, no, he's wrong. I would never say that because I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. The only people who know that are whatever, right? The people who are either in the know or Sony themselves, right? At this point, first and foremost, it is still in virtual stage. So they are building this hardware and building all the components of this hardware in virtually, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean, Colt. Like, it's not even like practical yet, right? They're still trying to put together the pieces and figure out.
They've got like a board with wires sticking in it, and it's running through.
Yeah. Well, they even from a virtual stage, when they used augmented reality and stuff like that, right? To like see, okay, will this work? Will that work? And then they try to piece it together. Then they start doing the practicality. Then they start putting the physical. Yeah, they're doing like the Iron Man thing, They're doing all that stuff. And then once they figure that out, then they 3D print it. Then they try to
let's put Steam on the PS6.
Yeah. Wow, that's a pretty good RDJ, dude. Very good. I got a good Homer. You got a pretty good RDJ. Nice.
Well, hey, we could do our own voiceover thing if this doesn't work out, which it really isn't.
Now, my question is this, though. What is the motivation? Right? Like, for example, if you look at like Xbox's motivation. Xbox's motivation is that you've got obviously your Xbox games. You get access to the PC games or the Steam games or whatever else, your PC only games. And then you also have access to the PlayStation library. Now, if you look at a PlayStation 6, for example, and then of course third-party games as well, right? So now if you look at a PlayStation 6 will get Xbox games day one, PlayStation games obviously day one, and third-party games day one.
Like almost every third-party game. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much almost every third-party game. And they're going to be getting all that stuff. So, you've got that there. What would be the advantage of putting Steam on there? It's obviously not to access their own games because you're going to be getting the PlayStation 6 versions of those games. Would they implement this just to be able to access the Steam? And for what reason? I'm actually asking the questions. This is not hypothetical. I'm not being...
Yeah, same. I'm glad you're asking because I'm asking the same question to myself. Obviously, you'd give your PlayStation 6 customers access to games they would never get to play. Most popular games are available on the consoles, but there are some PC-only games. Like everyone's like, Steam has their own exclusives. They've got older games that, why would you do that? Like, why would Sony be like, we're going to put Steam on here, so if you wanted to play Fallout 3, you can. Like, you can't play, which is funny when we talked about the Xbox 360, and I got to bang this drum because if you're a PlayStation-only fan, you are literally locked out of some of the best games ever made. Now, that's a bold statement, right? Luckily, they just got Red Dead Redemption 1 because it got remastered. So the games that don't get a remaster, they're gone. So think of, like they're locked out. Well, these would never come to Steam anyway. They're locked out of all those great exclusives that were on the PS3. But think about all the other games that never got remastered. That like Fallout 3 is not available to PlayStation fans for 15 years. There's a bunch of games that are really big that never got a remaster, and they've been on PC forever. So, and it's one of the things I did early in the Xbox One generation. I built a PC and I went back and bought the games that were locked to my 360 because they were gone like that. There was no back compat way back then. And I could play them cheap and play them at a higher frame rate. I did a bunch of that on PC. So, but I don't understand why Sony would be like, we're going to do you guys a favor and give you access to some select games or anything on Steam if you want it. I guess to be nice, but they're not making any money off of that. Just like
that's
Xbox
what I'm saying.
isn't.
It doesn't really make much sense. Like, I mean, the only thing, and we talked about this right before the show when I messaged you, and I'm like, the only thing I could think of is just to have the option there because the competition has the option there.
Oh, okay.
That's the only
Good
thing
shout.
I could think of that makes any sense to me. And I'm like, well, you don't want, like if I was Sony, you don't want Xbox to have an option that they don't have. Because then that kind of gives them a little bit of an edge of being like, oh crap, these guys have that option to Steam. We don't want people to go over there to have that option, even if they don't utilize it on a daily basis, let's say. It's just having the option that they won't have one up on you. Does that make sense? Like, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting at? It's kind of like you just don't want Xbox. Like if I was PlayStation, if I was Sony, you don't want Xbox to have a feature you don't.
That's a good point, Mag.
That's
and
the only thing I can think of.
Riskit says Steam is in no way coming to PS6, not a chance until Sony has its own PC store. But I would propose to you, Riskit, what if that's why Steam would come to the console? We're going to make our own PC store. So if we're going to be on a PC store and we're going to do some cross like pollinating, why not just let our console have everything? Because I've said many times, this doesn't really draw people over to say, oh, I'm going to go to Xbox now in 2027. But here's the statement. The next Xbox will play more games than any PC currently can right now, or will in the near future, because the next Xbox will have the Xbox chip in it. So 6,000 games from the Xbox library plus everything on PC. This expensive PC down here and your expensive PC in your living room does not do that currently. So Mag, you made one of the greatest points ever. No, this is a really good point that you made, that Sony's looking at that and going, if Xbox is going to offer them console games plus PC, we should do that too. But I don't see him doing it.
As that.
I think you could be right. It's probably the best. I don't know why we didn't think of it earlier. I still don't think Steam's coming.
Even happens. Yeah, but assuming it even happens. No one's saying it's happening for sure. I mean, well, Hip Hop Gamer's saying it, but I'm just saying in general, it's not a fact as of yet. So therefore, we're just speculating at this point. But if I were to speculate, I think it's something. I don't think it's that deep. I think it's just something as simple as they just don't want Microsoft to have a feature that they don't. I think that's all it is.
What if Sony was like, hey, we've got 60 of our best games on Steam. Let's get Steam on the console for many reasons, but one of them could be people can buy our games on Steam and play them at a higher fidelity on the next generation console without waiting for a patch. Like, it's been a long time. I've put the list on my videos so many times, but there's some PS4 era games on there that probably, wouldn't get as much of a boost on the PS5 or PS6 natively without the PC version. But it doesn't really seem like a super good idea to splinter your ecosystem. But I don't know. I also think it's strange that Hip Hop Gamer heard this and somebody like basically told him, they're confirming it to him, like, this is the thing. This is the reality. It is happening. And it just doesn't seem to make sense. But, like people like Colin Moriarty are like, why would Xbox put Steam on their console and allow their users to buy a bunch of games and no money goes to Xbox? But Xbox is doing it anyway. But I feel like Xbox does things out of desperation because they're so far behind the market. They have to kind of go the extra mile. PlayStation doesn't have to do that.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm trying. Like I said, I'm just spitballing here. So like I'm
Yeah.
reading the chat. I see what people are saying, and I'm like, listen, we're just spitballing here because we don't know. It's like we're just shooting in the dark because we're having a talk show. We have a conversation, and you know what I mean. And you know, you're 50-50 on whether whatever we say happens or not. It's just like I said again, we're just spitballing, having a conversation, and just speculating as to maybe why. But again, once again, like you said, I'm just going to sort of piggyback off that. Is that Sony really doesn't need it?
Yeah,
like there's no, that's the other side of it, right? You could say, well, you could do, maybe they're doing it just to match the Xbox features, or there's the other side of the coin that says, well, why would they even bother at all? Because their business model is doing incredibly well for them. Have they crossed 100 million units yet? I think they have from Black Friday. I know that Black Friday over here, by the way, they sold out of PS5s, all of them. Gone. GameStop, GameStop, Best Buy.
Meanwhile, Xbox couldn't even they couldn't even get any out the door.
Now, I almost bought. I should have, because they had a Black Friday sale. My son's DualSense got drift, and I'm like, okay, well, let's take it in and see. Now it's really cool, by the way. They have a screen. They have a screen and like a wire, and they attach the controller, and it shows like the drift thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So they're like, well, Black Friday sales, they had the DualSense on for like $60 Canadian. So it's probably like whatever, $49.99 for you guys. Yeah, that was the sale price. And they gave me a $30 trade-in on the drifted controller.
Oh, because they can fix it and resell it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they gave me the 1 year whatever guarantee. So I got that. So you know what the guy says to me? He goes, listen, man, even if it works, he goes, in 364 days, bring it back. I'll give you a brand new one in the box.
Oh, that's
free,
nice.
Right? And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So anyways, I bought 2 controllers that day. One for me because one of mine drifted, and one of his. And I got them for like the price, less than a price of one controller. And then I asked the guy, I go, you got any, I was thinking about Rampocalypse, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I said, you got any of those PS5 Slims that you guys got the deals on? They're like $140 off or whatever, right? And he goes, we got a few left. I should have bought one because you know what's going to happen when those prices go up. They had a few left, he said. He had a whole stack of them in the back, right? Anyways, when I went back a day and a half later, essentially, about a day and a half later, all of them were gone. Every single and I was going to buy one just to resell it. I'd be like, what the hell, make a couple $100. Because when Rampocalypse comes, or if one of my PlayStations die, I don't want to have to go to the store and buy one for even more than what I paid for. So I was just going to have one in storage or just sell it on Facebook Marketplace or something. And I'm like, let me just hang on to it. When I went back to get one, gone. All of them. Went to Best Buy, all gone.
Holy smokes.
And I'm like, holy crap. So they must be over 100 million units at this point. This is the reason why I brought that up, is that after 100 million plus units already, and still got 2 years left in the gen, plus you got GTA 6 and Wolverine and who knows what the hell else. I don't even really think they need Steam at the end of the day. So you got that as well. So there's two sides of this that we can speculate on and just have a little fun discussion about, right? So
yeah, and before I forget, I do want to bring up when we're talking about that PlayStation PC thing. We talk about PC ports, and you and I have this day and date kind of running bet going, but I'm looking for the actual source. Jez reposted this tweet. It'll almost be here in a second. Where is it? The Detective Seed said, and I want to find out how recently he said this, that PlayStation was moving their port to PC initiative to 6 to 8 months. Here it is. November 26th, which was 5 days ago, right? Give or take, right? Detective C said, back in August, he said, PlayStation to PC ports will begin coming faster going forward. 6 months is the new aim, and PC is the target platform to port to. He said that in August, and then 5 days ago, he said, just going to lay this one here. 6 to 8 months is the new aim for PC ports. This will apply to some PS published games. And Jez Corden reposted that because he's been reporting on the disparaging information about when PlayStation is going to put games on PC. And then when you hear Hip Hop Gamer saying that he's so sure and it was confirmed that Steam is coming to PS6, some of these puzzle pieces start to kind of slowly fit together. I can see how they may be trying to do something. I don't know why they're doing it. We don't know why Xbox is doing what they're doing either. Like you try to look at it as a consumer, right? And say, what does this mean for me? Right. What do I get out of this? Is this going to be good for me, or is this going to be bad? And that's really what we should be looking at. But
dude, I've been preaching that forever. I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, you can argue, you can call each other names and all this other stupid crap that people do, and console war this and console war that. Who cares what you play on? Listen, my goal, and that's like I said, I'm not here to sell my channel. I'm just saying what I do on my channel. The mantra on the channel is I'm here for you, the consumer, not the corporation, not the $1 trillion, $4 trillion corporation, not the $1 billion corporation. I don't care about them. They have to give me product that's worth my money. My number one focus is us, the gamers. And that should be our focus as well. Not attacking each other like a bunch of baboons. Like, just don't, you know what I mean? We should be all focused on, are you having a good time? And is it worth our money? That's what you have to look at the end of the day. Oh, that's it. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. Don't defend the people that don't give a crap about you. You know what I mean? We should be here for each other as a community and just like, listen, man, is it good for us? Yes or no. Whatever the answer is, to say good, great, whatever, or bad.
People,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and people typically look at the argument on how does this make my team win? And we have to we have to stop looking at that, because of course it's like self-preservation. Like, I backed this and I said these things and I want to hold on to them and make sure I'm right. But the real answer is, how does this benefit me as a customer? And that's why I get mad at the price hikes for Game Pass and the rumor that Xbox could possibly do another price hike in the same 12-month period because of the RAM apocalypse. And I can see them doing that because they're so far behind on the consoles. The only thing they can do is just jack the price and try to keep people from buying them. The Xbox Series console generation is dead. That hardware platform, be thankful you got one. What's that? Yeah, clip that.
Clip that, somebody.
It is. When people say Xbox is dead, I just laugh. I roll my eyes like, you have no idea what you're talking about. You haven't done your homework. You're not paying attention. The Xbox platform is bigger than ever, but that Xbox Series S and X console generation is dead in the water. I would say, I'm pulling this out of my rear end, but I would say that Microsoft is almost completely halted production and wants to limit how many of those are going to retail and are responsible to be sold because they're losing so much money. I said that for a while. I don't know what the real reality of that is, but looking at the way that they've priced them and how little they sell and how they don't care and they don't push the console, I think they've basically just let it be sterile so that they can get out of here and move on to a generation where they make money on the hardware and they can offer more to their customers to bring them in and keep them enticed. So that's what's going on. When people tell you Xbox is dead, tell them, yeah, the Xbox Series generation is dead. I've never seen someone kill it like this, but when you hear people say they're the new Sega, say, oh, I wasn't aware that Sega continued to make multiple hardware devices to support their game libraries, because Sega's not doing that. They won't even make a retro console, those sons of guns. Imagine if they made a Dreamcast Mini and had all these games that you could put on there, or had a way for you to made a CD version or DVD version that would actually play your old games. It'd be amazing. People would go crazy. And especially Nick from Xbox Era said, they're afraid of money. They're like, ooh, icky.
They're afraid of money. Yeah. You know, the thing is, at the end of the day, is that the interesting thing is when you talk about, and this is what, again, this is how people can't comprehend because, reasons. It's just like when I say that Call of Duty is a bad game, but it's fun. And they're like, how can you? And I'm like, because clearly you don't have any form of critical thinking. I'm like, have you ever watched a bad movie that you just watch all the time because it's fun? But it's really bad and you recognize that it's a crap movie. I go, this Call of Duty Black Ops 7 was exactly that. I gave it a 5.4 out of 10. I said it's atrocious, but it's still fun to play. I said, but it's fun garbage, right? So people can't comprehend that. Same thing with Xbox. You could say the Xbox Series consoles are dead, but Xbox is making billions of dollars.
Yep.
And people can't comprehend that either, because then when someone says something like that, and they're like, well, yeah, the Xbox Series consoles are the worst generation that Xbox is. I don't even know what the original Xbox console numbers were, but you could say by those metrics of like selling, this could be the worst generation they've ever had. They've been getting progressively worse since the 360. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. But Xbox is still making billions of dollars. They're just making it in a different way. People can't comprehend that because they have like those horse blinders are where they can only see one answer. And I'm like, that's not the real world. The real world, yes, black and white is obviously the majority of like how answers are. It's all about logic and everything else. However, there are nuances to answers where there's a gray area where it says, yes, this could be their worst generation ever. However, they're making billions of dollars. They're just doing it in a different way. Right? They're doing it through accessibility, through PC, through whatever, and of course, different options for hardware. Whether people buy them or not, it doesn't matter. If they're not losing money on it, if they sell 500,000 ROG Xbox Ally X's and people go, it's a failure, okay, kind. You can call it a failure all you want, but you got half a million, whatever. You got 500,000 people still getting access to their product, which is all they care about. Or you got people buying it on PlayStation, and people give me crap because I buy Xbox games on my PlayStation. How is that any different than buying Xbox games on a PC? A PC is not an Xbox, it's a PC. So you're still buying it on a third-party piece of hardware. Do you think Microsoft cares that I bought whatever the last game was? I bought like Gears of War Reloaded. I bought it on PlayStation at full price. Do you think they care? No, they're making money. They're making billions of dollars. So Microsoft is just doing it different. And people just can't seem to understand that. I don't understand it. People get argue and they fight. Maverick, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever... Dude, that's literally communism.
What did he say?
Said, Mag, you should push day one PlayStation games on PC and all platforms if you're about the community and not the brand. That's not how... that is literally communism, dude. That is not capitalism.
Well, I mean,
and
it could be
not
capitalism. They could make
you,
a ton of money across PC and PlayStation. There's an official gamer in the chat says Ninja Theory is getting shut down next year due to the Xbox guys not buying Hellblade 2. This official gamer has never bothered to research anything when it comes to financials or Ninja Theory or Hellblade because Ninja Theory made a bunch of profit last year. They made over $30 million in revenue, and they made a profit off of doing motion capture and motion capture liaison for other studios. Even though Hellblade 2 didn't sell very well, Ninja Theory was one of their most profitable studios, and they wouldn't shut down Ninja Theory because if the worst thing that would happen to Ninja Theory right now, and I could see, I could totally see Xbox saying, "What do you want to do next? We're going to put a pin in that because you're going to be motion capture support for our sure things." And we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about all of the studios that might go and some that might stay. Ninja Theory is definitely safe and a very important piece of the puzzle for Xbox Game Studios. They're just not going to be making single-player bangers for a while. That would be my best guess. But anyway.
Xbox gamers out there in the chat, obviously there's quite a few of you and quite a few friends of mine. Did you guys go out and buy Silent Hill 2 at 50% off? Because
I saw some people talking about that.
Good. No, I'm saying good. I want that because what did I say a million times? If you want more stuff on your systems, then you have the whole chat's like spamming commie box now because I said it. Anyways, all joking aside, you want more stuff like that and you want that to continue in the future, you need to have more engagement, right? And what better way to engage? First of all, they had a really crappy marketing campaign. There was none. And then when they did announce it, they're like, it was already out in the store. Someone's like, dude, it's already out in the store. I'm like, what? Nobody knew about it. Then they said something about it the next day. But then they put it for 50%. I thought Xbox games.
Well,
Xbox gamers, excuse me.
Xbox doesn't.
Did you guys go out and buy it?
Xbox is not supposed to market Silent Hill F, but with Play Anywhere, they could have done some Play Anywhere marketing. But that was on, who was that? Konami? No, Bloober. That's Bloober's job to do that. Bloober. Yeah. They should have done it.
J-Man Games? Listen, man. No, it's not. What you don't like, this is the thing. When you talk about at the end of the day, the reason why they want people to get into their ecosystem is so that they make money on the store, not their software. So if you get a game like, for example, I don't know, I'll pull one out of my hat here. Horizon Forbidden West. It sells 5 million copies. The money that comes from the 5 million copies of that game funds the other games that don't make as much money. So they put that money back into the system and they fund that. But what did they do by doing that? They now have 5 million more pairs of eyeballs on the store that buys their future purchases, online, PS Plus, skins, DLC is where they actually make their real money. And of course, at that point, you went and you bought your PlayStation, let's say, for this particular argument, 82% of all Call of Duty sales were on PlayStation. Therefore, Sony made 30% for doing absolutely nothing, and they didn't even have the marketing rights. That's where they make their money. So no, I will kindly disagree with your statement, sir. And that's exactly why they have a wall up. But you see, here's the thing though. That is their business model. It's not everybody's. So if PlayStation wants to do that, you as a consumer decide whether that's good for your wallet or not. If it's not, then you don't buy it. And if you think that Xbox is the better buy, then buy that. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
And it's funny that people think, oh, PlayStation makes most of their money off of their bangers. Their own first-party games is the reason why they're so successful. It is an alarmingly huge ratio of money that PlayStation subsides and survives off of by selling games that aren't even theirs. Most of their money comes from games that they didn't make, they didn't publish, they didn't market. All of their
Why do you think
most
the
of their money
trial
comes from
was a situation?
Oh, I don't have it.
They freaked out at the ABK thing because they were like,
that's their bread and butter.
Taking COD from us.
I looked at the most.
Their bread and butter was from a game they didn't make. You know what I'm saying?
Today I looked at the most played games this past month on PlayStation and Xbox. Arc Raiders was number 11 and 12 across PlayStation and Xbox respectively. The top 3 or 4 games were Roblox, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, and Minecraft on both platforms. Something like that, if I remember correctly. The first-party bangers weren't at the top of those lists. They never are. And that's just most played games. That's not most bought games, which is kind of a similar metric. So people need to understand that even, especially Xbox, is like, how much do we really want to invest in our own games? And they need to invest more than anyone because their games don't sell as much as PlayStation. There is a big difference there. So
Satanist said it exactly what I've been trying to say forever. He says they cultivate the ecosystem. Everyone eats, mutually beneficial relationship. Yep. If I had the button to press the applause thing like I have on my show, I would have pressed that. That is exactly what it is. They're all feeding off each other. I did a video which for some reason pissed off a lot of people, you don't remember it was like 3 weeks ago or a month ago when PlayStation released their quarterly numbers and they were all through the roof. They're all like, oh yeah, like everything was in the green, everything's on the up and up. And I said PlayStation success is great. Hey, great. Wow, how you doing, buddy? I said PlayStation success is great for Xbox. Yep. And then people started ripping their own faces off like a Poltergeist. You know, I remember that Poltergeist when the guy rips his own face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you guys like completely mentally incapable of understanding? Like, my God.
It's because like, people were raised on the console war, Mag. And I've been in the console war a long time. But you after a while, you just kind of like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I said it's great for Xbox. And it's fun. It's fine. I'm just being silly, guys. I'm not insulting people, but I'm just having some fun. However, anyways, what I did say is that when they got these big games coming out in 2026, okay, this is great for Xbox. You've got Halo, which a lot of people keep forgetting that it's still coming out, right? You've got Forza Horizon 6. You've got Gears E-Day. You've got Modern Warfare 4. God willing, please make it much better than this last one. Please make it good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, the one's fun, but like, I'll probably play Call of Duty after the show tonight.
They've had 2 really bad ones since Xbox bought them. Pretty bad.
Well, Modern Warfare 3.
They're 2 worst.
Yeah. And then, Call of Duty Ghosts was up there. But anyways, the point is that those games, as long as Microsoft releases quality software that people actually want to play, like your Gears, like your Halo, like your Forza, isn't that funny? Halo, Gears, and Forza. And so they got those 3 games. And if they do well, and Call of Duty now, I don't know how we put Call of Duty in the song, but you cut that in there, and then they're going to sell millions of copies on
Halo,
PlayStation.
Gears, and Forza. That's Halo, Gears, and Forza, Call of Duty, duty. That's how you do
this year it's Call of Duty, Duty, all right, Doody. So the point is that they're going to sell millions of copies on PlayStation. Xbox is going to make billions of dollars. What are you talking about? And that's great for Xbox gamers. It's going to help their ecosystem.
We always say this, right? Like we talk about, you and I have been spending 2 years talking about what happens if Xbox doesn't have exclusives, and sometimes, we always say that Sarah and Phil sit back and go, yeah, everything's burning around. Everyone's, pulling their face off their skull, but the money's coming in. Xbox is doing really big things. And it's like, do you care about the games, or do you care about how many people's, whose plastic sold more than the other? And I was there.
Doesn't matter.
I was like, I hope the Xbox sells really well. I have that famous quote. I was right, but there was that 1 month when Xbox outsold the PlayStation 5. The Xbox Series consoles outsold the PlayStation 5 because PlayStation 5 didn't have chips that month, and Xbox had a really good startup. So it was really early on. And people were like, this you? I'm like, yeah, it was me, you moron. I was right. They had 1 month where they won MPD. Like, get over it. It was 1 W. I was right for once, but
when I changed my tune, dude? I changed my tune when I
saw it.
When I got a bird's eye view into the inner workings of how how those two specific corporations work. And once I was granted access to that and I saw how it worked, I not just peeked behind the curtain, I walked behind the curtain, and I'm there. And now I'm like, oh.
It's
I'm
not
like
the way you see it on Twitter, right? It's like,
no, you think Phil has a picture of Hiroki Totoki on a dartboard with little horns on it. And he's like, boxes.
They're friends. They're friends.
They're friends.
Yeah.
And you know why they're friends? Because they're both making millions of dollars while idiots are arguing online. And it's mutually beneficial for everybody. And it's an industry. It's a business at the end of the day, dude. It ain't. What did he say? What did Michael Corleone say? It ain't personal, Sonny.
It's business. Yeah. And when relations start to kind of, what's up, Brad? When relations in the business start to kind of homogenize or get harmonious, and then PlayStation's literally most popular and most profitable live service game comes to Xbox a year and a half later, this is like a win-win for everyone.
And thrived on Xbox. That made Sony a ton of money, and it made Xbox a ton of money.
And I've got almost
ain't that weird?
And I've got almost a 10-year career on YouTube trying to show people what is so great about the Xbox platform, only to ride the wave of loserism for so long, where Xbox was never going to outsell PlayStation's console.
Well, even
nothing on my channel was about Xbox eventually outselling. I don't think anybody could find anything other than me saying they'd be the market leader. And the funny thing is, I know what I said in 2020. Xbox will be the market leader, and but not the definition you think. They are leading the market into digital, play anywhere, cloud, having cross progression and cross play and all that stuff. Xbox has been leading the market into the future, which the PC was already there. And so, my channel is not about PlayStation losing console sales to Xbox. But I've been sitting there while Xbox continually could never sell enough consoles to keep up with PlayStation. And
Crypto,
I watched you change, because the very first time I had you on the show, Mag, I played that hilarious clip of you guys at the lake, and you're telling your son,
the floating pony,
and Pony Master 420.
Yeah.
And I played that on the show.
Fun. I did that for fun.
We laughed, and then you kind of stopped doing this, and Xbox started.
There was another reason for that. People were getting insane. Like the messages and stuff, they were getting very popular. Dude, I was getting like 300, 400,000, 500,000 views on some of those videos, and I'm like, and those were only on Twitter at that point. But the thing is, people started taking it really seriously and fighting and getting really nasty about it, and then sending me horrible and it was getting bad. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. You made it unfun because you guys are assholes. So I'm like, you guys made it unfun. You made it unfun, so I stopped doing it. I said, because you ruined it.
It's just so crazy because
you're ruining the sunset.
It's so funny because
that's what they're doing.
I make videos about, here's what the next Xbox is going to look like, or here's Fable, here's the history of Fable, or here's why it's taking so long. And the comments are just like that. I'm not console warring.
People attack you for it.
90% of my videos are not even, you can't even consider them console war. I have PlayStation 6 versus Xbox Magnus, but I'm constantly saying nice or disparaging things about both. I try to because I know that people are going to watch my video and they're probably going to be more PlayStation leaning. So I want to make sure that they get the proper lens into what I think the PS6 is going to be. Same with Xbox, right? So, I mean, this is just self-serving discussion Mag and I are having. We appreciate you guys for being here.
It's okay. No, it's fun to get it out. You know what I mean?
But my console warring happens on Twitter. Like, everyone's like, why don't you act like you do on YouTube on Twitter? I'm like, yeah, but Twitter's like, Twitter's a butthole. No one cares. Like, that place is ridiculous. The things that people call me, because I said, this isn't God of War. This isn't Soros or Elder Scrolls statue. This is Diablo 4. And Jez Corden said it, and I believe Jez Corden. It doesn't look anything like those games. Totally looks like some stupid Diablo thing. And I'm already ready for disappointment with the statue. And then mid-time today, when I had like 6,000 likes, it totally got debunked. And I said, whoops, sorry about that. Here's the answer. And people are calling me retard. People are calling me names, calling me a loser clown. I'm like, bro, are you?
And that was just
literally, this is literally just a discussion about a mysterious statue. I put my flag down on what I thought it was going to be, and you're going to call me names like,
yeah. I mean, and those are just the names I called them. That's not even the rest of the people. That was just my comment saying all those horrible things about Cole.
Mag making the picture of me with the long nose. Yeah, it's like...
that's like all that trolling. Like, that's all me, by the way. It's just my sock accounts. Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me. Like, seriously, I've been doing it for 10 years. Someone calls me a retard or calls me a clown or a loser. There's almost like not even a spark of emotion. It's just like, block.
Dude, sometimes it gets to me, though. Sometimes it gets to me. I'm not going to lie.
It used to.
It gets to me. Sometimes sometimes it's just one comment. Like, I'd be like, oh, shut up, idiot.
Magnum.
Or like, whatever. Okay, dude. Go get laid or whatever. Right? I'm going through the comment. And then all of a sudden, there'd just be one. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, like the Ben Affleck meme is like, hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, with the cigarette.
There's like, with the cigarette, and then there's just like Ben Affleck. And sometimes one comment will get to me. But I think that's probably what they do on purpose. They're like, let's get to him.
Well, they'll say something that you could construe as true. Like, no one, what's cool is people stop calling me bald since I cut my hair. It's great.
Really?
Yeah.
They still call me bald.
It was bald and sexy. It was synonymous with idiocy, with dumbness. Like, oh, you only said that because you're bald. It was basically what the comments are.
What does that even mean?
I'm not even kidding you. Like, someone would go,
it felt like you shaved your brain off.
Of course, with your receding hairline, you'd think that. Like, that's seriously the way people come at me. And once I buzzed my head and got rid of the Stegosaurus thing with my hair, people stopped saying it. But Brad Ward Fight in the chat says, Happy One goes, Magnum's just messing around. He goes, I'm sorry I called you all those names, Colt. Brad Ward Fight says, I love it when Colt says, exclusivity is dissolving and then I say it'll benefit all gamers and game franchises. He says it triggers the pony so hard. They come at me and they're going, talk about Nintendo. I'm like, well, it's not. Dissolving doesn't mean exclusivity has been wiped from existence. It's dissolving. It's whittling away. And we covered it pretty well on the show here about PlayStation considering PC and considering live service games being multiplat, and Xbox saying everything's going to go to PlayStation because that's how we're going to make real money for once. And we appreciate you guys, all of you.
J-Man Games, I don't use Nair. I never use Nair. I actually use the spray paint, the spray paint hair thing, like to cover the bald spots. So what I do is I'm just going to put a bolt, like a line here, and I'm going to spray my whole head. See what that looks like. I think that'd be funny.
The Instagram keeps showing me that like little black cylinder that you rub the powder in and it covers up your scalp. And I'm like,
to make it look fuller? Yeah. Maybe I'll do that. That'd be funny.
Yeah, because if I put my head down, it's half the hair. And yeah. Risk It goes, it may not benefit all gamers in the long run with exclusivity dissolving. Let's not do this again. Risk It and I had a really good discussion in party chat for like an hour or so talking about the good and the bad. And Risk It pointed out that what if Xbox's multi-platform gets developers to say, why even bother making an Xbox version? And that's an absolute real concern. But I think the work that Xbox is doing with the port process and removing the barriers is going to help that. I think that might be a bigger issue.
Well, that's why I asked about Silent Hill 2. Sorry, my bad. Carry on.
No, that's good.
I cut off your point.
The point was, I think the porting process and the licensing, or not licensing, the porting process and the authentication and all the stuff that Xbox has done has been a bigger hurdle than the size of the platform. I may not be right on that, but I think that that's the reason why they're removing the barriers, because it's going to alleviate. Because when you, Meg, like if I'm going to ask you this question, what big games skipped Xbox and never came to Xbox?
And never came?
Like what third party, not like PlayStation money hats things, like what big game got missed
Stellar
on
Blade?
Xbox? Which one?
Is the only one I could think of. Stellar Blade is the only one I could think of from 20.
Stellar Blade was
that was my
published by
game of the year.
PlayStation. It was published by PlayStation, and they already said that Stellar Blade 2, which I would have put that in the topics list, it's going to be multiplat.
Yeah.
So they won it on Xbox. So what big games did Xbox fans miss out on?
Xbox then? I mean, I'm just saying, well, why didn't they release the first one on Xbox? I mean, I think that would, if you're going to release part 2 on there, why don't they release part 1 so people can get caught up?
They could, but it's published. It's still under publishing rights from Sony. So Sony may not even bother, especially since the sequel will be there. So I'll ask the chat as well, start writing and I'll look. But Mag, what notable or memorable games has Xbox missed out on?
I can't think of anything else. The only other one because most of them eventually make their way over there, right?
There are smaller
for example,
games.
Silent Hill 2.
There's smaller games or Japanese JRPG games, but it would be really difficult for someone who isn't like really super Encyclopedia Britannica to name what games never came to Xbox. Killzone was a PlayStation game. I'm talking about third-party games. Shout out to 4XB for fueling the show tonight. Yeah. Stellar Blade is not a PlayStation license, BT Maverick, but it is published by PlayStation, so they are the publisher. And they are still the publisher to this day. So it's up to them to put the game on Xbox. And that's why I'm saying it's so important. Yeah,
that's why it's so important that when a game like, for example, Silent Hill 2 shows up, which was a stellar game, by the way. I know it's a very specific type of product, being survival horror. Not everybody's into that, right?
Guys,
but I'm just saying it went over there, but it went over there for 50% off on day one. You're sending a signal out to people. Right, and if they start port these games over and they don't see the return on investment, then that's when they're like, well, why would we bother? Or maybe we'll wait till so far down the road that it's irrelevant by that point. Sell it for a discount, and nobody will care, and that's not what you want. So for those, you know what I mean? Like, for example, you could have had, like, let's say Silent Hill 2 does sell incredibly well on Xbox, then that's 2 in a row. That did well over there. That sends a signal, if you want, I'm saying as like, let's say if you're Xbox exclusive gamers, that sends a signal to those people saying, okay, we're seeing a trend here. We sent over Helldivers, it's sold like gangbusters, right? At least from their perspective, 1 million plus is pretty big for a much, much smaller player base, right? So they did incredibly well over there. And if Silent Hill 2, that's the next one in line, and if that sold incredibly well, then we're like, okay, folks, that's 2 in a row. People are paying attention now. Yeah. Now those other publishers are going to start looking hard at them and saying, if we could sell 500,000 or above, that's gravy for us.
It's worth it. It's worth the port.
It's worth the port. Then they could look at it and say, then it's worth, as some people say, the juice is worth the squeeze. At that point, they'll start giving it a harder look. And I think that if you want more of that, then you have to support it. I mean, you can't say, well, I'm forcing Xbox gamers to go out and buy Silent Hill 2. I'm just hoping that there's enough people out there that see, it's a quality game. I mean, I streamed the whole damn game start to finish, and it was amazing. Amazing. But you also have to be into that genre, too. So it's a little bit tough sell.
Yeah, and I'm not.
Because not everybody's
into
horror. Dude, it was so good.
There's a lot of good examples coming in, but there are some corrections. Some people said some Final Fantasy games never came to Xbox, and they weren't published by PlayStation. I think they just never came to Xbox. But right now, there are equal amounts of Final Fantasy games playable on both PlayStation and Xbox, and it's a different library because of back compat. So Final Fantasy's all right. It's on there. There are some that are missing because of that reason. So that's a good example. Neo, a couple of the Neo games were done by Koei Tecmo, but the Neo 2 collection and a couple of, I didn't look it all up, but some of the Neo games were published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. So that's why they never came to Xbox. They were never going to come to Xbox.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And now
Dave,
Neo 3, right? Next year, excuse me, not this year, next year.
yeah, and that'll be exclusive as well because I think PlayStation's got exclusivity of that or publishing rights of it. And David the Diver, Magnum says, was another really popular indie game last year or 2 years ago that just finally came to Xbox. There's no reason why Dave the Diver...
It's on Game Pass, right?
Yeah, there's no reason why that shouldn't have been on Xbox in 2023. I think is when it came out and it was really popular. So sometimes there's popular games. Of course, Baldur's Gate 3, that was an issue with the Series S that they fixed. There was Black Myth Wukong, which we talked about on the show a lot, which was we know from behind the scenes that PlayStation had a deal, an exclusivity deal. It came right at the year anniversary, and everybody was denying it, but we had heard directly from Xbox or people I talked to. I'm not an insider, but the people that were at the event were like, we were told directly from big people that PlayStation absolutely blocked that game from Xbox. So it is a problem. I'm going to say that too, because we don't often get clipped on the show, Mag. I know we're running long.
Not really, no.
We usually don't get clipped, and I think it's because our audience in the chat keep us in check and keep us corrected, but...
yeah, but even when we disagree, we're still cool about it. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like people are arguing and like calling each other names. But... Like, yeah, I know. Well, you know, why do you think you get all those nasty comments on your videos? It
is a problem. There are a certain amount of ports that are definitely a problem that don't come to Xbox, and like Dispatch is one of them. There you go. Dispatch is a brand, and that's when it happens. It's like the little viral.
Everybody's talking about this. Dispatch.
Yeah, everyone's talking about it. It's right out the gate. We talked about that 3 weeks ago. It didn't come to Xbox because they said we can't afford it. And that's an issue that I hope Xbox is fixing. So it's a real problem, but they eventually get there, and Xbox gamers shouldn't have to wait. So I got to grab these supers. Meat Puppet, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Sorry it took me a minute. Mag and I have been talking like two Muppets with their heads cut off. He says, I think that skull statue thing you guys are talking about, do you think it could be completely new IP? I wouldn't mind seeing older games like Command & Conquer or Lost Odyssey come back. What's your vote, Mag? Is that statue a new game or something we are like, oh, it's that? What's your vote?
I think it's an existing IP or something that we're already aware of.
I feel like it too.
Yeah, I think
especially
it's something
when Jason Schreier says it's something cool. Aero Nation TV, thank you so much for the 5 super. Says, will Nintendo bend the knee for Steam as well, or will they maintain the walled garden ecosystem? Great show, guys.
No, thank you, Aero Nation. No, Nintendo will never do that. Yeah, Nintendo's going to stay exactly where they are. They got their business model. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the way they're going to operate. And they're going to continue to do that. They got Metroid 4 coming out in a few days, going to sell like gangbusters. Yep. The console's selling incredibly well, even though it's expensive. But they're doing their thing, man, and they're doing their thing. And they continue to do their thing. And then everybody says, every single generation, they're not going to do it this time. Hey, listen, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had my doubts with the prices. But... people are still doing it, and they keep. It's like James Cameron. Every James Cameron movie since 1984, they're all like, "This guy spends too much money. His movie's gonna bomb." The guy has had a 40-year winning record. Every movie he comes out, he makes billions. And like, if you go look at the top 10 of every single movie, it's all James Cameron movies and Star Wars. And it's like, okay, dude, the guy just keeps knocking it out of the park. When are you gonna concede? Oh, no, but the next time, it's the same with Nintendo. Nintendo's going to keep doing it.
Makes a bunch of money.
Dude, it's going to be 2040, and we're going to be still going, that Nintendo Switch 4, I don't know. And then guess what? It's going to be the same thing.
The it's not broke, don't fix it thing is so funny because you and I would be like, throw those games on PC and just make billions of dollars. But Nintendo's like, why would we change? Everything is going so well. And doing the logical thing, it's not worth it. And it's kind of like that Arc Raiders thing. Like, the game's so popular now, why would you ruin a hot fire game that is so popular by doing a wholesale change when everything's working right now amazingly? Bit Fernaldi with the 32-month member chat says, I'm looking forward to a spoiler-free Game Awards. Need some updates on Knights of the Old Republic and Forza Horizon. Yeah. I don't think you'll get an update there at the Game Awards for Forza. I can't see Steam coming to PS6. Sony isn't there yet. What were you going to say, Mag? Oh, the spoiler.
Well, they are there yet, but But what would be their motivation? Is my question. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know.
That's the only thing I could think of.
The only thing I can think of is your to keep up with the Xbox, but I mean PlayStation does often copy them, but yeah, you and I just don't really think it makes sense. Will the Broke Boy with the $2 super chat says, "Oh gosh, I can't wait to hear Meg's response on this."
What'd he say?
Crap movie is Howard the Duck. It's still one of my favorites.
Okay, so that's the same thing. So Howard the Duck is Black Ops
when I was a kid.
Okay, but Colt, here's the thing. Howard the Duck is Broke Boy's Black Ops 7. It's a garbage movie, but he keeps going back to watch it because he's having fun.
I'm glad.
It's like me with Gremlins 2, the new batch. Garbage movie. But I just watch it every Christmas. I don't know why.
Really? I need to go back and watch Gremlins 2. Gremlins 1's amazing.
Look at them.
Now, here's the type of person I am. When Will says Howard the Duck is one of my favorites, I think, man, I hated that movie. But the other half of me is like, I'm so glad that he was saying something positive. Because we live in a world where it's like, everything's mid, everything's cooked. I'm like, one of these days,
bro,
talk about something you like.
My kids talk like that now. My son is like, bro, that game is cheeks.
Yep, cheeks, yep. Oh, my kids are so mad when we're on vacation. They're like, we can't tell Dad any more like trending phrases because I'll use them ad nauseum. Like when my daughter said something was buns, and I'm like, I think I've heard that before.
Yeah, buns is one, cheeks is another one.
And so I kept using it. She's like, oh. I was like, oh, now I can't say that in front of Dad. Magnums.
No, you can't.
Says, Colt, can you say hello, ladies, in Val Venus's voice? Who's Val Venus?
I met Val Venus in the bathroom in Markham, Ontario, because his family lives in Markham, about 30 minutes away from me. And I'm in a bar. It was like a Roadhouse kind of bar. Roadhouse kind of bar. And obviously, imbibing several beers. And there's this dude who's not very tall, by the way. He wasn't very tall, but dude, he was twice as thick as me. Like, this guy was like 4 feet wide. And just jacked, right? And he's got the long hair, and chicks are all around him. And I'm at the bar, and I'm like, anyways, I go to the bathroom, and the dude is peeing in the stall, like 2 stalls away, or urinals away from me. And it was Val Venus. And I look over, and I'm like, and he goes, yeah, I'm just visiting family, man. He goes, because his family's from Markham. And I'm like, I met Val Venus. And, hello, ladies.
Oh, that's how he talks?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like Macho Man, too.
I'm not gonna do. Listen, man, I'm not gonna say the Val Venus lines because they're not appropriate for this show. He never swore, but they're not.
He's a retired Canadian wrestler, so yeah.
But he was hilarious, man. Val Venus was hilarious, and it was kind of funny, like just peeing and looking over. I'm like, oh, there's Val Venus. It's like 4 feet away from me, but yeah, his family's from Markham, so. Markham, Ontario for
I thought you said Arkham
Ontario.
Arkham
Asylum. No, not Arkham. Arkham is Joker and Penguin and Killer Croc and Val Venus, apparently, yes.
Val Venus at the urinal.
Yeah. No, it was just like a regular Roadhouse. It wasn't like an expensive like bar. It was like a $3 beer joint. You know what I mean? Like one of those kind of places.
While he was at the urinal, did you jump up
in dirty bars?
Put him in a chokehold, an arm bar or chokehold or something?
Can you imagine, dude? He would have murdered me. Like, he literally would have murdered me. Like, what? Can you imagine I go grab this guy from behind?
Pause.
Like, give him the tombstone smash or something. Like the Undertaker, just do the choke slam in the bathroom.
Trying to take a leak. Yeah.
Dude, I'd be in the hospital. I'd wake up in the hospital like 3 days later.
Well, like you did establish early on the show, you're not a very tall gentleman.
No, 5'8"
and a half. Yeah. What is that in in centimeters? What do you guys measure by over there in Canada?
5 by feet and inches.
Yeah, that's not very Canadian of you.
What are you talking about? I know. Yeah. We measure height in milliliters, actually.
Or in the UK they measure them by stones or something. Or is that their weight?
Yeah, because they're barbarians.
Oh yeah.
They're still throwing they're still throwing spears at castles.
Mag does measure some things
over the walls of castles.
His height is a totally different thing. Yeah.
I'm kidding, my UK friends. I just busting your chops. I love
Riska says, what are you talking about? Riska, what do you guys measure yourself over there in the Australian land?
They measure each other in kangaroo. Yeah, I'm full ruse.
Three and a half digitally deuce.
Yeah.
That's the show.
I had 3 stingrays for dinner. Now I'm 5 ruse. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
And he's like, no, we don't drink Foster's, you jerkwad.
No, they don't drink Foster's.
There's these guys on Instagram that I watch that were Australian, and they do hilarious skits. And they all have mullets and mustaches. They're skinny.
Dude, those guys? I watch those guys too. They're hilarious.
Dude, they're hilarious, man.
Are they the croissant guys?
Yeah. Croissant.
They're the croissant guys. Yeah.
Bro, those guys.
Those Australian guys are the best.
So I waste about an hour before I go to bed every night watching Instagram Reels, and I'll see the most crazy, offensive stuff, and it says that Mags liked it. I'm like, yes, yes, it's just like me.
I know, yeah. I gotta be careful of what I press like. I hate that it shows that, I hate that it shows that my name. Of course, it's not Mag. I don't use Mag on my Instagram.
Yeah,
I use my other names. But like, it's kind of funny to see it there, and I'm like, oh my god, like, what if like somebody sees that I like that reel? And of course they do, because it shows up. It says your friend, whatever, like that, and I'm like, ugh.
An audience, it's never the big booty chicks. It's always some hilariously offensive thing that like relates to old guys like us. It's great stuff. But
comedy.
It's great stuff. Yeah, those guys are hilarious. Those Australian guys are amazing. I'm gonna start sending you the good ones when they pop up. Now that I know that you follow that,
dude.
Too.
The Australian guys are the best. I'm on this Australian kick now with the comedy, the Australian.
It starts getting fed to you, right? There's a couple different accounts. To me,
so now I'm all in on it.
Yeah.
No, risk it. Yeah, we didn't say you're amazing. You said the people in your country are amazing, minus you.
Risket's got a little bit of that amazing in him if he's from Australia. He's always got that swagger. Yeah, that's the show. We appreciate you guys.
Yes,
I was feeling a little rusty and glad I got some time off, but it's good to hang out with you tonight and talk gaming, business, and how tall we are. It's been good. Yeah. So Mag, tell everybody what you have planned for the week. I don't even know what my week's like, honestly.
Well, tomorrow night's Magcast, 8:45 p.m. Eastern. I'll be doing that tomorrow night as per usual. And now it's kind of funny because I had so many events going on over the last month or so. I had to keep deferring Magcast to different nights of the week because I was just not home on Tuesdays. But now we're going to be consistently back on Tuesdays up until the week of Christmas. Then I will be out of town. So I will put on a special Christmas. I'll do a Christmas special either on the Sunday before Christmas, or I may be even a little squirrely and do it on Christmas Eve. You never know. We'll see how it all goes down.
Jeez.
But either way, we're going to be doing that. But anyways, tomorrow night, Magcast, 8:45 Eastern. And then what else am I doing this week? I'm going to be doing live streaming consistently on Fridays. And I'm alternating with a new show that I'm going to be doing called Mixin' with Mag, where I'm going to be doing a 2-man show. I'll just do like a 45 minutes to an hour show with a guest and just interview them and talk to them about a few topics, whatever else, and just kind of do that. And that'll be every 2 weeks. I'll be doing that twice a month. I just released a new Munching with Mag in honor of Claire Obscure Expedition 33. That was French cuisine. I did duck 2 ways. Yeah, and I did duck 2 ways. I did escargot stuffed in mushrooms and all kinds of beautiful stuff. It was fantastic. So go check out my Munching with Mag video. That was great. I did my review of Black Ops 7, my marinated review on that one after I put in almost 100 hours into the game. So yeah, I've been doing really busy. Got a lot of stuff going on. I've been releasing a lot of shorts lately too. No, I'm not trying to grift. I'm just trying to get some more awareness out there because YouTube's acting a damn fool lately.
I got to say something because you just started shorts, and I would definitely recommend if you see a short pop up at the top of your phone for Mag or we're giving you a 1-minute video. Just swipe that sucker down and give it one watch. We will make it worth your while because I wanted to go back to making more shorts and TikToks. I could put them on both platforms. And I watched, Mag's popped up, and I'm like, I don't think I've seen a short from Mag. And I watched it, the Claire Expedition one, then he did another one that was funny, and I'm like, oh yeah. And so I messaged her, I'm like, keep doing these. So if you see a short pop up at the top of your notifications, know that it's a 1-minute commitment, and we'll try to make it worth your while. But Mag's making some good stuff already.
the other thing is I've done 4 shorts since before the weekend. But the other reason why I'm doing is like, because, everybody's like, oh, well, YouTube is pushing shorts. I don't care what YouTube wants. I'm telling you, I'm doing what I'm doing. And people will either come to me or not come to me based on what I talk about. However, what I am enjoying about shorts is that when I'm walking around, I have random thoughts that pop into my head all day about gaming where I'm going, oh my God. And then by the time I get to XNC or by the time I get to Magcast or whatever, I forgot it.
Yep.
So what I do is as soon as the thought comes to my head, I'm like, wait a minute, that's a good idea. And then I'm like, that would be a great idea to release Forza Horizon 6 in April. And then I'm like, I get on the phone, boom, I set up the short, put a background. I'm like, this is why Forza Horizon 6 in April is a great idea, because they've got E-Day, they've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, and you got Grand Theft Auto 6 in November. There's no room for it. Move it to the first half. You're going to maximize sales on Xbox and, of course, engagement on Game Pass, whatever, right? So I do my 45-second spiel, done, right? And so there you go. Thank you, CyberGunter. I appreciate the support, buddy. He was saying he likes the shorts. Keep them coming. So when I have these random thoughts throughout the day, it's good to just, even instead of a long form video, go in there, say your piece, and then off you go. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, and then you get it out there. And so like so you don't forget that random thought. Because I'm sure it happens to you all day too, dude.
Yeah.
Like you might think of something and be like, oh, what a great point. And then
I'll throw something on Twitter and it probably could have been a short as well. So I usually don't think that way. But the end of last year and half of this year, I was trying to do a short like several times a week, and I was doing gaming weekly news. And so I want to get back to breaking down the news on Thursday night and having it ready for Friday. So there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about, and the onslaught of games is going to be absolutely insane. There's a whole bunch of surprises to cover, a bunch of games that are coming out of the woodwork, coming out of nowhere. People are like, what is that? We didn't even get a chance to talk about them today, but we'll probably talk about them next week. So keep an eye on the channel. I'll try to get recommitted to making content. And we will catch you guys next week, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be here next week. By the way, community, if anybody wants to play Call of Duty with me tonight, I will not be streaming it. I'll just play with the community. Let's just have some fun. So if anybody wants to jump in, I saw Arrow Nation, I saw Great Wall, a couple of guys in the chat there said they'll jump in. If anybody wants to come jump in, I will not be streaming it. I'll have regular headphones on. We'll get in there, and if you don't have my ID, it's all capitals, all one word. I am the Mag. I'm playing Black Ops 7 on the PlayStation 5 Pro. So Xbox gamers, PC gamers, if you add me, which most people have done already, come jump in. We'll just have some fun.
Yeah,
only maybe for like an hour or so.
Yeah, I really appreciate the people that are coming over from Mag's channel and hanging out with us. It's really, really cool. We appreciate that.
Yeah, man, cross-pollination, baby.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Sometimes. In humans, you can make some weird creatures probably. Red Wolf says, hey, Colt, can you tell Risket I said hello? No, I will not. I refuse. That's the show. We're going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody. Hit the like on the way out. And thanks to 4XB for fueling the show. Go order something. It's holidays. You're going to need the energy. We're out. Mag, good show.
Good night, everyone.
See ya. Good eye, mate.